disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He's just cute little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Yo, what's up? This is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena. Another episode, a late night episode. Hopefully, it's gonna be chaotic. Okay, maybe not that chaotic, but I like the fact that anybody can join and we get new people. It's refreshing. All right, we already have Recognize a Matrix in here. Welcome to the show, Recognize.
Salute, King Bucho. Salute.
Yeah, anybody can join, people. Like I said, so anybody just click the link that I posted in the chat. You're gonna join the Discord group, and then from there, if you're on a phone, you swipe right, and you'll see something that says Voice Channel. Just click on that. If you're on a browser, you can't fucking miss it. It says Voice Channels. Just click on that. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about. Well, I mean, yesterday we talked about the Joshua Usyk fight. We can still talk about it. Oh, we can take predictions.
That's cool.
Where are the predictions? I have some predictions here. Recognize says Usyk by stoppage. Haitian Sensation says AJ stoppage. King Bucho says AJ decision. Mr. Anderson, AJ wins by bullshit stoppage. Precise Usyk wins by decision. Uncle Pete, AJ decision. L Dog, AJ by stoppage. So yeah, if you join the Discord, you can give me your prediction and I'll write it down on the list that I have right here. So yeah, Recognize if you whatever you want to talk about, man. Whatever.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's some good fights coming up, man. You got that fight come on this Saturday. I want to say after that, no, 2 weeks after that, you got Fury Wilder. So the heavyweight division will be, shaped out pretty much in 3 weeks, right? These fights go as planned.
Yeah.
These fights don't get canceled. Like in 3 weeks from now, when we're talking, we're gonna have a pretty clear picture of like who's fighting who for undisputed or whatever.
Yep.
So,
and like you said, if whatever happens this Saturday could affect Fury's mental state.
Could. Yeah. I think it could be because, who knows what Fury's thinking right now. I sometimes I think Fury's playing possum. Like, in other words, there's like nothing, you're not hearing anything about him. I could be wrong, You kind of like, there's all these confusions of what's going on in his personal life. Maybe he knows he could beat Wilder again. You get what I'm saying? Like, he just understands how to beat him. So he's just not saying much. And maybe in that type of way, he's promoting the fight. Like, oh, man, I think Wilder's going to blow this dude away. Like, there's a lot of people that, including me, has me questioning, like, damn, is Fury taking this dude lightly? Is he scared or what's going on, right?
Did you see the press conference, though? Did you see the press conference? The only press conference they had?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when, Wilder wasn't saying shit.
Wilder looked shook. No, in the first, Wilder looked shook, right? Mm-hmm. But since then, it got postponed, right? and now you go into October, and you really haven't heard much from Tyson Fury. I did see a video of him, and I gotta say this, Bucho, he looks like he's in great shape. I don't know, like I'm talking about Tyson Fury for him. He's kind of like cut up a little bit in his fat muscle way. He just looks like he's in shape, I
gotta look into that. We have Drew. What's your name?
Drew Evo.
Oh, Drew Evo. Sorry. What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Oh, welcome. I normally show up on the YouTube as Philly Irish Drew Evo, but it's just sort of.
Yeah, I know Philly Irish.
Nah, I was seeing that. I was want to talk about the Usyk fight. I actually am one of the only people that thinks Usyk's gonna beat Joshua this weekend. Like everybody I ran into was telling me, oh, AJ's gonna knock out Usyk and everything. But I think I'm kind of starting to think AJ might have overtrained for this fight because he was trying to look trimmer and a little bit smaller as he usually does for someone like Usyk to match movement with him.
Well, we saw De La Hoya make a mistake like that, right? He wanted to be as light as he could be for Pacquiao, and that kind of backfired. That kind of backfired on him, right? Well, it didn't it backfired. And so, yeah, man. I mean, it could be. I was saying yesterday that I think that he should be 245. That's my opinion. I think he should come in that ring. I think he's putting way too much into. Oh, I was too bulky, and that's why I got knocked out. It's like, nah, you got knocked out because you got careless.
Like I'll be honest with you, you gotta be what brought you to the title, what brought you to the dance. You being big and going after people to knock them out and everything. That's how you gotta be because you're supposed to be the bigger fighter and everything. Now you trying to go down to this dude's level. Like, what's the point? You're not a all-around great boxer and everything. He's an average boxer at best.
Right, and if AJ comes in big, he might not catch Usyk flush or anything, but whatever he touches, elbows, arms, whatever, it's gonna make a difference, right? Because he's so heavy, so big. So now he's losing that advantage.
Got big muscles. AJ's pretty fast when he lets his hands go, right? Like for a heavyweight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's got fast combinations.
He's not that slow, man. Yeah, it's explosive to a certain extent.
Yeah. I mean, look, only he knows his body, right? But I think that sometimes a fighter lets what happened in a fight that has nothing to do with a fight that you're having right now creep in his head. It's like, oh man, when I was heavy, I got winded. But would he have gotten winded if he never got clipped in the fucking temple? That's a question he needs to ask himself.
Mm-hmm.
He got clipped in the temple and never recovered. He started breathing hard, right? He started to gas out.
But I think that under Ruiz, we put too much emphasis into that punch that Ruiz landed because he has no chin. Okay, let's look back at the Klitschko fight. He did get dropped, and Klitschko, he's a heavy. I would even argue that he hits as hard as that right hand from Klitschko is as hard as Wilder's punch.
There's more technique to it, man. For sure.
And he actually, Klitschko knocked out better competition than Deontay Wilder. So yeah, Deontay Wilder might have some crazy ass looking knockouts in his resume, but who are these guys? Guys with no chins, like they never really made it into the top of the heavyweight division because maybe they didn't have proper chins, right? Klitschko, we know his record, we know who he knocked out. So anyways, going back to the Joshua's chin, he got dropped by Klitschko, got back up. He got hurt by Dylan White, managed to recover. And even like Alexander Ruiz, he got dropped. Hey, he managed to add another 6 rounds after he got dropped. So it wasn't like he got KO'd or anything like that. That guy has a chin, man. I mean, it's
he's got a good chin. He's got a good chin. I think what happened was he got caught out there. He got caught off guard. He in a very sensitive spot, and he was never able to recover.
Temple shot. Yeah, that's
Like I look at it like this. When I looked at Anthony Joshua, I always compared him to Vladimir Klitschko. I always like if there was one boxer out there that is similar to him is Vladimir Klitschko. The only difference is that Klitschko is a better boxer than him. He knows how to neutralize the jab more than Anthony Joshua does. But other than that, he's more like Vladimir Klitschko than people think that he is.
Yeah. Sorry, I mean, that was just. I mean, I think we need to like. I think sometimes we tend to exaggerate a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like, this fight's closer than what some people think, and not because of the skill. I'm not saying that Usyk is not the most skilled. That he's not gonna be the most skilled fighter in that ring on Saturday, but AJ is not that bad of a boxer for his size, and the size might, it's might be a difference in the fight. I mean, he's kind of explosive. We reckon I said it, and it's true. He's kind of explosive. I mean, look at that Povetkin fight. AJ, he's a pretty good counterpuncher, and that uppercut, he sneaks it in somehow.
He was losing that fight. Then he exploded, right?
Yeah.
And he fucking exploded on Povetkin.
Now Usyk,
and he was able to take Povetkin's punches.
Well, Povetkin kind of hurt him too early on in the fight.
Absolutely, he did. Yeah, bust his nose.
Now Usyk doesn't come in like fucking Povetkin does, right? Like that's
No. He's more, he's more of a slicker fighter.
He's more cautious at times,
yep.
Which is it's not always a bad thing. Like you see Anthony Joshua try to add Chisora to his camp because try to get some input on him, and Chisora say he has no power. Like that's the last person I would think you want to bring into your camp, because when I saw those two fight, I thought Usyk almost stopped Chisora late in the fight because Chisora got winded. Usyk started landing combinations, and Chisora was hurt, and he almost got knocked. He almost got stopped in that fight.
That's true. He hurt him. He maybe could have stopped him. But the thing with Chisora though, the guy is 6'1", and Josh is 6'6". Some say 6'7". I don't know. He's much taller, more explosive. He actually has a jab. I mean, Chisora, I don't know if he even had a jab.
Yeah.
I mean, Chisora was leading with right hands and shit. I mean,
Chisora is different, right? He's built different. He's 6'1", but 250. You know what I'm saying? So he's like a tank,
thicker,
right?
He's broad, but
yeah.
So is AJ. I mean, AJ's pretty big too, right? Like
AJ's 6'6" and weighs less than Chisora because he's more lean. He's leaner. He has a different build,
which is more dangerous.
If you look at it like this, Chisora was in way better shape than Andy Ruiz was when he fought. When Andy Ruiz fought Anthony Joshua both times, we both know that because he's still the same height. He's just in better shape. But like, if you look at the last couple of Anthony Joshua fights, it's Ruiz twice, and he fought Kupek Pulev, which Pulev is really a one-handed fighter because all you are gonna get two punches. His right jab or his right hook. That's all he is, and he has no defense at all. So you can't really judge too much about AJ's boxing because of his lacking of opponents, because he started boxing more in the Andy Ruiz second fight, and a lot of times during that late in that fight he didn't want to engage. But with Pulev, who wouldn't want to engage with Pulev because Pulev has no defense and he's one-handed the whole fight.
Right, he had a different approach for both guys. So the guy that knocked him out, he fought him more cautious. He just said, let me collect the belts. Let me kind of fight off the back foot, jab him, occasional overhand rights, and get out. Right. And so with Pulev, it was like you said, the bad defense. So, like, naturally, your instincts when somebody has bad defense,
I was gonna
you're
say
a boxer,
that.
You just go for it. Yeah, you just
get
go for that shit.
confident. You get
Yeah.
confident. It's like, well, I'm just hitting the guy.
Yeah.
He's going back. Every time I hit him, he goes back. I can see that. Wow, I'm gonna keep doing that shit.
Yep. Yeah, so it's a different approach. You know, he probably said going into the fight, if I start hitting him easy, I'm gonna go for it. But if he's giving me a hard time, I'll fight off the back foot. Then he starts catching me with good shots. Right? It's just playing. It's just him being prepared for a very limited fighter.
Yeah, like I was talking about this a couple weeks ago on my show, and they were talking about like how Usyk can beat Joshua.
Right.
Like, to me, I said with him possibly overtraining for this fight, I really think Usyk can explore countering Joshua because Joshua can be countered easily, and the way that Usyk boxes, he could counter Joshua, and I think it's going to take a lot more countering for him to win this fight. Like, even though if nobody looks at this, but even though he's undefeated, he's mostly fighting in the guy's backyard and beating them. And some of these guys he's beaten convincingly.
Yeah. No, that's something that doesn't go unnoticed by people like myself and a lot of people on this panel. We definitely noticed that's something, you know, and look, I'm not saying he's not the only guy. Basically, there's a lot of top fighters like Triple G, Lomachenko, they do it too. But like he, in that cruiserweight tournament, he was doing it in the region where they would be more, they would be more of a rival.
What do you mean a rival?
Sorry about that. Well, you know, because it's like saying, you know, New York versus Philly versus Boston.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's more of a rival because we're close to each other. So a Philly dude goes to New York and he's in an environment where like everybody wants him to lose because he's from Philly. He goes in there and he wipes out or he beats him. He beats the New Yorker. It's more of a, you know, it's more of a closer rival. So he was doing that in the sense of a tournament, right? So when he fought Garcia, he was in Russia, a Ukrainian fighting in Russia.
Yeah,
I'm sure those Russians wanted him to win. They wanted Garcia to win, you know? And so, you know, maybe they were fucking with him. But for him to stay focused and like, look, I'm just going to beat these guys. Going to go in there and I'm going to clearly win. Like for the Irish was saying, you know, convincingly beating them. He had to do that.
Right. He did get the decision in Russia.
He did.
But you know, when we talk about this fight, it seems like he's not gonna get a
probably
honest
not
decision, right? Because
if it's a close fight, if it's a close fight, the rounds are close. Even if you think Usyk could have got the victory, I don't think they're gonna give him. I think they'll give the benefit of the doubt to
because it's in England, or because it's Joshua, or because of what's ahead, like a Joshua Fury fight. It's there's a lot of money involved, so it's like that the reason why he won't get a fair share.
Well, that's something to consider, right? You got a big fight, possibly. I mean, even if Wilder wins, maybe, I don't know. It's still a big fight. If Wilder was to somehow beat Fury, you could still try to make that fight happen, even though they have shown difficulties in the past of making the fight happen. But yeah, of course, if the possibility that he can fight Fury is going to be on the mind of the judges. Trust me.
Well, all right, guys, I'm going to head out. Thanks for having me. I have Usyk by decision or late stoppage, and I think Fury's going to knock Wilder out in 5 rounds.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for joining. All right. Well, he said Usyk decision or late stoppage.
Yeah.
We can only choose one, so I'm gonna put. I have to say decision. So his name what's his name? What was his name?
That's Philly Irish. He calls in a lot.
Oh yeah. Philly Irish. He had a different name. All right. Fuck. I'm trying to write this shit. All right. So what else is on the menu?
Well, then you got I heard that Teofimo I heard Teofimo is fighting October 16th, so that's the week after the Fury and Wilder fight. So he's fighting Kambosos. It's in Brooklyn, from what I understand, the Barclays Center. And Triller's gonna have a versus battle, so that should be entertaining.
A what battle?
So have you noticed that they have these old school rappers battling each other now on verses? You know, like their lyrics versus the other guy. Remember, you had the Locks versus Dipset. Did you hear about that?
No. I don't follow that shit. But yeah, okay.
Well, anyway, they're doing this thing. It's called Versus, and it's like a lot of old school rappers. They go up against each other, lyric for lyric. It was the Locks versus Dipset. Then it was Fat Joe versus Ja Rule. It was,
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was shit, bro.
No, I said, oh shit. I didn't know that. That's a good battle. So, and then what happened? Well, what's going on with that?
So they're gonna have another one of those. I don't know who it's gonna be. So one of the premieres of what Triller is selling is selling Teofimo versus Kamboso, then a versus battle.
That doesn't make fucking sense, man. Doesn't make fucking sense.
Boxing deserves what it gets.
Isn't that? Wouldn't you be embarrassed if you're Teofimo and then you're the co-main event to that or something like? Now these guys
I'm
are
not sure if
popular.
he's the co-main event to that, but
yeah, they're more. Popular,
I'm wondering why they're selling it. Right, they're selling the verse. Oh yeah, by the way, we have a versus battle, so that'll get more people interested to buy Triller, because you can't just sell Teofimo by himself against Kamboso.
No, of course not. By the way, cooking up a storm with Herman and Ralph says King Butch is a man of culture. He wouldn't know about this degenerate rap scene. Yeah, you're right.
Butch was like, no, I don't know that.
That's the music I'm playing in the background.
Classical music. Butch was into classical
creepy
music.
shit. All right, people. Yep, BDA Boxing on Discord. Go check it out and join the fucking debate.
Join the debate, you suckers.
You're all scared now.
All scared. Why you guys scared, man?
Mint Diggity says, "What a joke Triller." What a joke Triller is. They're just burning money. Well, they have money to burn, but not that much money, or else they would have already paid Teofimo to fight wherever he wanted and everything. But yeah, that was
I offer a battle to anybody. I say Teofimo, Kambosos on Triller with a versus battle shows how much of a joke boxing is. Prove me wrong. Come on. Prove me wrong.
The boxing, man. We keep talking about the problems with boxing and why are these boxers doing this? Why do they keep doing this? Because somebody is allowing them to behave like this. There's still money involved. Like they get paid. Like Al Heyman didn't help. The PBC didn't help, right? It was they were overpaying boxers, and then somebody said, "Well, what do you mean overpay? I mean, if they're paying them something, it's because they deserve." No. They were being overpaid. All right. Lara against fucking who was Yuri Foreman. I don't know if this is true, but I wouldn't be surprised that Lara got $2 million for that. And that was in the early stages of the PBC, man. They were just all these shitty fights. They were being overpaid, and I think some of these boxers, they're still living in like 5 years ago, where like, what are you supposed to pay me like $1 million? Yeah.
Think about this, Bucho. So, if you got $2 million to fight Yuri Foreman, Lara, that means Al Heyman took out like $300,000 for himself out of that $2 million.
15%. What was it? 5%?
15, I think.
15.
I think it's 15.
Jeez.
And if it's 15, that's 300. That's 300,000.
For doing what? Doing
Just being his promoter.
fucking
Not
scam.
well, his
So,
manager
they
officially,
are
right?
allowing these boxers to do that. Obviously, they don't have that much money anymore, from what it looks like. But still, like some of these boxers. And the problem.
Looks like Lara might have himself better situated than most of the Cubans. You don't really hear stories about him owing money, right?
I don't know. You tell me. He's in Florida and stuff. Like, where does he hang out?
He's in Florida, yeah, Miami. A little outside of it, like he lives in I'm sure he lives in a nice area.
Yeah. Maybe he owes money. I don't know. I heard stuff about Rigo. Didn't you tell us that, or
Yeah,
was it Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy. But Jimmy's right. Yeah, Rigo might be in some trouble. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to say he deserves it, but yeah, he deserves it. He deserves it. I mean, I still remember that fight where Rigo in the Cotto Canelo undercard. That guy didn't throw any punch, and he was fighting some Mexican guy, I think, who was there just to get knocked out. I mean, I think that was the point, like, of that fight, like for Rigo to stop this guy and get something going for his next fight, some attention. But no, he went 12 rounds. I think he was throwing 7 punches per round. For like
that fight he had with his last fight with Casemiro, he was pathetic, man. How he ran.
That was fucking sad. And some people were defending
the fight,
him.
man. I'd be like, yo, you don't want to fight.
Some people said he won the fight. You know what should have happened? Fucking withheld of purse. What's that called? What's the term? Like, you don't pay the guy. A withhold of the purse. I don't know what the fucking term is.
Yeah, you could. He really. I would have just stopped it personally. Would have just stopped it.
Like, go home, you fucker. Like, what the fuck? We have Olaf Larsen in the Discord.
And Cardo 52.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm just gonna give my prediction for the Usyk and Joshua fight. I think Joshua knocks him out in 8 rounds. Within 8 rounds. I just don't really think Usyk's chin is going to hold up against a really heavy-hitting, heavyweight like that. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. I could also see a scenario where Usyk outboxes him, for 12 rounds. But I mean, I don't see Usyk stopping him or anything. But I mean, I think it's a really good fight. And for Fury and Wilder, I think Fury knocks him out earlier this time. But we could see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Fury's been really quiet lately. But he also said that he wasn't going to really promote this fight that much. He said he was leaving social media until October 10th and things like that. I mean, no one really talks about that, and he has a lot of issues going on in his personal life and things. So, I mean, that's an interesting fight too. I don't know. Wilder's always dangerous, obviously, but yeah, I see AJ knocking Usyk out, and I see Fury knocking Wilder out.
All right. Well, I'll write your prediction for the Wilder Fury fight later, 2 weeks or something like that. But I got you in. I got you in for AJ stoppage, 8th round.
Correct.
All right. That's good.
Thank you.
Who else is in here, man? We have Cardo. Are you there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm also good on here just to not be on YouTube and just it's easier to listen to, but I can give you guys my prediction if you guys want that.
All right, let me write it down.
All right, so this fight, the Usyk Joshua fight, I mean, it's interesting because I think a lot of people feel that Joshua has a pretty weak chin. I mean, he's never been knocked out cold, but he tends to get Bambi legs quite often. However, since Usyk moved out to heavyweight, it's like we always remember the old Usyk, and we keep forgetting that every time after every fight since he's been in heavyweight, we notice like his power didn't really translate. He hasn't really looked good, and now he's going up against probably top 2 best heavyweight. I don't know if his skills has really translated in the heavyweight, especially his power for sure hasn't. It seems like he's having trouble with the weight. from the
Did,
other
did you see that
fighters.
Chisora? You saw the Chisora fight, right? Did you notice that he hurt Chisora? He didn't drop him, but
Yeah, no,
yeah.
right, yeah, no, I did, but it seemed like Chisora had a lot of chances too, where Usyk started looking frustrated in certain rounds, and it seemed like he, I mean, eventually, I think Usyk's still very very skilled, you know. I mean,
Hmm.
especially for being his size, so he fights like a 160 pounder maybe, but I don't know. He just doesn't seem right at heavyweight compared to cruiserweight. It's a completely different. Just he doesn't. I don't know. How to explain the. He can't dominate the heavyweights. You know what I mean? Like the way he was doing in at cruiserweight.
Mm, I mean, he has had two fights so far. So I mean, the Witherspoon fight.
Right. So
Yeah. Go ahead.
he had two fights, and both at the beginning of both fights, we everybody was thinking, oh, he's gonna blow them out, no, whatever, a few rounds. But is he, like I said, he just doesn't seem comfortable in there. He doesn't seem like they have the confidence to go in there.
Hmm.
He seems to be a bit afraid of the power from heavyweights. Now it's not this. It's definitely not the same. His defense has definitely declined at heavyweight. That he doesn't. It's just not the. He's not fighting with the same style or confidence. He, it, that I mean, if he's able, because he can. I mean, like I say, he's very skilled. If he were to catch Joshua, and that's another thing, I don't know how Joshua's gonna fight. Everybody feels like, okay, he's kind of scared now since that mishap with Reese. He's gonna box from the outside for the rest of his life. I don't know if that's true either. You know, so if he goes forward and tries to knock out Usyk, I think Usyk might be have an advantage there. But if he fights from the outside, I don't think Usyk can do much. He's just much smaller, and he doesn't seem to want to pull the trigger as fast as he used to.
Okay, so you're saying Age is gonna outbox Usyk? Is that your prediction?
Well, if he goes that way, to be honest, I really think it's gonna be Joshua by decision. That's how I figure that going.
Yeah.
I know that Usyk is more skilled, but I just don't see him doing that against Joshua at this weight.
Okay, so I'm gonna write down your prediction. You're saying AJ by decision. Okay, makes sense. I recognize you there. Go to take a shit. All right.
I'm here.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you heard what Carter was saying, but he hasn't been
Yeah, I heard him.
impressed with Usyk at heavyweight. Have
Look,
you
man,
been
I can't really
impressed?
argue people's opinions, but
Right,
like
right.
I
But
don't
in your
really
opinion, in
see.
your opinion, has he been impressive, or do you see because also or a decline? Like he's not dominating these guys as he was dominating the same way he was dominating cruiserweight.
Look, when Usyk fights at heavyweight, it almost looks like he's sparring. And this is what I mean. He's comfortably in charge of the two guys, only two guys he's fought, which is Witherspoon's, who was a replacement. So, remember, this guy was like on standby, basically. They do this for like most fights. They'll have somebody in standby in case the fighter, one of the fighters go down. So that was Witherspoon.
Mm-hmm.
When he fought Chisora, there was a little bit more stress there because Chisora is a very experienced, tough, built like a tank fighter. So yes, there was moment of stress for Usyk, but he still looked like he was sparring with these guys. He was totally in control. He's beating them
Right.
like he wants to beat them. Like he probably wanted to stop Chisora, but when you're hitting a guy and he's not okay, you don't stop him. You're still in control of the fight.
Can I say something? Because some people are gonna people are gonna disagree with the Chisora fight. I mean, at the beginning they say that like Usyk was in trouble because he was getting
he was under stress. Trouble was it's totally different. He was under stress. The guy's bringing it to him, right? So, but he took care of that. He neutralized that for the most part. How did he neutralize that? By punching him, right? Defense, catching him with sneaky shots, making him a little buzz, right? Buzzing. That's how you stop a guy. That's how you stop stress. That you bring stress back to them. That's what he did.
You fight back.
Now,
basically.
Right now, did he look like he was at cruiserweight when he was 200 pounds? All the fighters have to make the weight limit of 200. Maybe they weigh in 215, 220 come fight night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course he's going to look different. First of all, he's fighting faster guys. So he has to be faster. His instinct starts kicking in. He's also fighting guys who are more, because they're in better shape, they're more skilled fighters. So he has to bring his A game. But I'm not saying that he didn't bring his A game towards these fights. He absolutely did. But he had a different approach. But I still saw a guy who was in control, just at a slower pace, because these guys are slower.
Right. So there's like a negative handicap or.
Right, almost fighting up to your competition, right?
Yeah.
And of course, he's got to be careful with a guy who outweighs him by 30 to 40 pounds. You just naturally got to be careful.
That's true.
We got a couple of people in. We got Jackson and Drew Titan.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's poppin', bro? Boogie down.
You sound like MMA champ, Drew Titan. Dang, you sound different.
Nah, boogie down Bronx all day, yo.
All day, yo. Okay.
Haitian.
You sound like Haitian, but anyway.
I could do 50 push-ups, bro. I could do 50 jump ropes, bro. You want to jump rope with me, bro?
That's it?
That's
all you
can do? Want to jump rope with me, bro?
Dude, only 50? What's up, boys? What's up, Recognize? What's up, Haitian?
What's going on, Jackson?
What's up, man? Hey, by the way,
I Haitian. It's Drew Titan.
On the screen, I'm showing the BDA Kumite matches that we have so far. I have L Dog versus Recognize. Because nobody wants to debate L Dog, so I was like, I guess Recognize might. If you don't want to, I mean, I understand. And then I have Haitian Sensation against Minimax. So those are the two matches we have so far.
Yeah.
Yo, last night was fun as shit, man. I know we got off boxing a little bit, but that was still fucking throwback to the golden era of BDA classics.
Yeah. Chaos and yeah.
Chaos.
It was fun.
Descending into madness.
Yeah. That's why we're gonna be doing more shows now, especially since we have. It's a big fight. AJ versus Usyk is a big fight, so I mean, we deserve more shows.
Absolutely.
Black Lomachenko says Drew Titan speaks nothing but the truth. All right.
Fact.
Wait, is Drew Titan the one that was saying that he wanted to see Fury's trainer? What's his name again?
We on to you. We gonna see you. We on to you.
That was the other guy. No, he's the one that said that he wanted to see Sugar Hill in a car accident. No, a car crash? No, burn in a car crash accident.
Damn, man.
Oh, is that what Drew Titan said?
Yeah, that's what he said, right?
Yeah, he wanted Sugar Hill. He wanted to crash his car into him. He wanted to pull some Errol Spence shit.
Yeah, and
Drew Titan. Why? Let's ask Drew Titan. Why do you wish death on him, man? What's wrong with you?
He's not really on here, is he?
You said what?
He's drunk. Hey, Will, what?
You said what, yo?
I said, why you wish death on Sugar Hill, man? What's wrong with you?
Boogie down, bro.
Get out of here, man.
Hey, and remember the other guy who was saying that he was doing that same show where they had Sugar Hill, and then you had Drew Titan, and then this other guy came in, the guy who was saying that he had physical proof that Tyson Fury cheated.
That's Tate Jones.
Yeah,
Tate Jones.
Tate. What's his name?
Tate Jones.
Tate Jones. Remember he was saying like, and you know what? It's gonna go down tonight. And he's smiling. Like, what's gonna go down tonight? What are you saying? Like, it's gonna go down tonight. Remember? Sugar Hill's so
why
fucking
did
confused.
Fury sue him for defamation of character? Like, that's what I would have done. I mean, just to clear my name. But I don't know.
Bro, you know how many lawyers it takes and how much money it takes to sue somebody, bro?
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of.
But
Yeah.
when you're Tyson Fury, nah.
Yeah, I mean Tyson got bucks, but maybe he was like, "Yo, fuck that. I don't want to. I'm not gonna use that to sue his ass."
Yeah.
First of all, he already proved himself wrong. He already proved himself wrong because by accusing Tyson Fury of that, you're accusing the Commission of Nevada, right?
But
so
rich people want to make more money. Rich people want to make more money. They don't want to lose money. So
absolutely,
We'll recognize then, that's the Tyson Fury then is going up against the Commission of Nevada that does have bucks, that does have bad.
No, I'm saying Wilder by default, he basically accused Vegas of being in on it. They checked his gloves, right? So if you're accusing
you're
Fury,
accusing them.
You're accusing them too.
Yeah,
but he's fighting on the. This is how stupid these people are, right? They're so dumb. Why would he then go back? And don't give me that. He's like God, son. No. He's not because he never got beat up the way he did. He was like God, you know?
Recognize some of these guys say that like the reason why he's not suing Fury is he's a man. He's gonna prove it in the ring. He doesn't need to like do anything outside the ring. Go to court. That's for pussies. Now you fucking prove it in the ring.
Let me say this, bro. Yeah. He is the civilian. Right. A civilian, bro. Listen, you're gonna sue somebody in court, and especially if that's like $1 million like lawsuit, bro. I'm definitely suing you, bro. If you like cheated me or something, or you assaulted me or something like that, try to like attempted murder and stuff, bro, I am suing you, bro, and I might even press charges, bro.
Yeah, so of course, and that's gonna be on the news. I mean, some guy put something in his glove and could have killed the guy, his opponent. Yeah, of course. That's a big man. It's like you said, man. There's a lot. There would be a lot of money involved, but you don't want to go to court for some fucking weird reason. We have also Gonzalo. Gonzalo, you can jump in anytime, man. What else? Yeah, fuck these guys. Let's stop talking about this shit.
Fuck that. We were done talking about that yesterday. What other fights do we have? I know we got the big one, Usyk, Joshua. Most of us think it's going to be corruption, which would really suck because I think Usyk's here to make history. I don't know about you guys, but I think he is that guy, and I think he's skilled enough to do some special shit. And Manny's retiring. Shit.
That's good.
I'm happy for him. I mean, whatever he decided to do, I would have been cool with. If he wants to run for president, and therefore, obviously he doesn't have time for boxing, that's fine, man. He's had over 70 fights. He's accomplished everything he wanted to.
It's enough, man.
Yeah, it's true.
I think it's enough. And then,
but he still looked good, He still looked.
Yeah. He still. You could say he retired on top, man. He still got hands.
Yeah. But I would hate if he say in 3 years he tries to come back in and he's not even close to Manny. He doesn't have that. That would suck, man. That's why maybe I wish he would maybe throw one more fight back with Ugas in the Philippines, beat Ugas up, and then run for president. I think that would be fucking. But I mean, it doesn't. But
it could backfire too, right? I mean, not back. It could be the same outcome. You're fighting in the Philippines.
Yeah, true.
The guy's moving around. You're not looking that good. I think that's it. It's enough. Let's just retire. Just retire.
Yeah.
He has nothing to prove. He's one of the all-time greats. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. It's bigger than Floyd. He has a better.
I think so.
We're gonna get into it now, but anyways.
But Jackson said something. He wants Manny Pacquiao to choose when he's running for president. He don't get to choose. He's got to run when everybody else runs. It's not on his schedule, Jackson.
But when's the election?
That's what I mean. Right? That's what I mean. He will have to operate around that, which will really deplete his boxing game. I know it's the election, but I think he does more to inspire the Filipino people by fucking boxing than being a politician.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what
I don't
he's
know,
doing over there. So I
He's
don't know.
40 plus years old now. Priorities change in life, right?
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, but we'll see how good of a politician he. I mean, you probably know you live over there, but I don't know what he's done and stuff. I see he's passed one bill, I think.
He passed one
That's
bill.
all he's done as a politician. I think
Well,
he
he's what, a
passed one
senator?
bill.
Senators don't do shit. Senators, like the House of Lords, they just sit around and
Yeah, I don't know.
they don't do fucking shit. But anyways,
It's one more bill than Trump passed.
yeah, good point.
I'm fucking with you, Jackson.
Look,
Trying to
hey,
get
in the chat, in the chat, Lucky Bradford says Joshua is protected, like he's obviously being like sarcastic. Joshua's being protected, yet has the best resume at heavyweight by far. That's true. Is Joshua protected though? Because a lot of people also said that he would never fight Usyk. A lot of people said he would never fight Usyk, and he's fighting Usyk.
That's what I'm saying. Look.
Yes.
Protection and all this stuff. I don't think it's protection. I just think he gets the benefit of the doubt. But like, he does take challenges. He does. I don't care how long it took him. He still takes them. Like, is it calculated? Is it like little strategic that has really nothing to do with the inside the ring? Yeah, you could say that, but like, he does fight good fighters. And you could give him credit for a certain amount, but you can't take away credit, or you could take only a certain amount of credit away. It's kind of like even. The guy, look, man, he lost already, and he's fighting a guy who has the capability to beat him and embarrass him. So
that's true.
I just hope for a fair scorecard. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm not going to be all doom and gloom about it. I just know that if it does happen, I'm not going to be shocked, right? I'm not going to, what happened here? I'm not going to be
oh
like
my
that.
God, yeah. Like it's not going to affect my life. Like, I'd like to see the right guy win, but my life's, I'm going to still try to live the best. Like, these people live vicariously through these fucking fighters, and it's insane.
Yeah, we need
It's also now or never for Usyk. If he deserves to be a champion because he's a quality fighter, it's the time to prove it.
Now or
never, yeah. Be deserving.
Hell yeah.
I just hope that if he does prove it, he gets the victory, If he goes in there and he proves himself that he could beat Joshua, that they give him the decision. If he don't, then,
I mean,
whatever, he still competed.
If Usyk wins like 8-4, and they like, what is Usyk? So Usyk probably has to win 9 rounds convincingly to get the decision, or do you think he would still get fucked?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is.
It's really hard to say. I mean, if he wins convincingly, they probably just have to give it to him or call it a draw. As many scenarios.
A draw would be a fucking great thing to bet on. Holy
20-1. 20-1.
Yeah, I might go with that. I think I'm doing it. A couple of days from now, I think I'm gonna see what that odds look like. If it's still 20-1, put some money down on that shit.
Could change your life.
I'm looking at
win the lottery with that one.
I'm looking at the picks over here that are the predictions that we've taken so far. We have 10 predictions, 7 for AJ, 3 for Usyk.
Okay, that's about right. What's the odds for the fight? Similar to that, right? Similar to that.
3-1, I think, for the favorite.
Okay. And the people
a little under 3-1 then.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah. That makes sense. Let me check.
This feels like it's a 50-50 fight, but it might not turn out to be. It could even be like Usyk 70-30, 30 for Joshua. You just never know.
It could be 70-30 the other way around.
Usyk could beat the shit out of him. Like, he might just box his ears off. Anything's possible.
Yep.
So this should be an interesting
This is
fight.
where we get to see how how good Joshua is, not necessarily about how good he is about reinventing himself, but how good of a like strategic, like coming up with the game plan type of fighter he is. He kind of
Exactly.
did a little.
Yeah, good
He
point.
did a little good when he fought Ruiz, but maybe he does it more like clear this time. We'll see.
Miguel Batista in the chat says, "Yeah, tripping. Joshua gonna dominate him." I mean, he
Oh
could
wow!
stop.
Thank you for dropping knowledge, kid. Y'all trip. Okay, so here's the knowledge of the day. Y'all tripping. Josh is gonna dominate him. I mean, there was so
how is
much
he gonna? I
wisdom
mean,
in that
is
sentence right
he
there.
gonna bully Usyk or what? Like, give us more info here, people in the chat. If you're gonna give us some predictions, let's try to have more information so we can talk about it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if he dominate him. I don't know.
He doesn't have the skill set to dominate Usyk.
Maybe he stops him or drops him. Yeah, but dominate like he's controlling the fight. I don't know. Who else do we have in here? Anderson is here. He was here yesterday. What's up,
Super
man?
this time. I
Super
upgraded.
Aldo.
Yep.
We got Gonzalo, of course.
Yeah, Gonzalo and Ricardo 52. People, anybody can join. Don't be shy. I'm gonna post the link again.
Anybody can get it.
Anybody can get it.
You saw Drew
Mexicans,
Titan came in here. He sounds a little bit like Haitian Sensation, but it's not him.
a little bit, just a little bit.
A little bit.
Miguel Batista is replying now. He says, "Who got more hands? Sorry, who got more hand skills, Chisora or Joshua?" I'd say Joshua. See, this is the thing because, like I said, that's why I mentioned this to you. Recognize. Some people
Spoke me like that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, don't insult me. Some people are saying those first few rounds between Chisora and Usyk, they saw Usyk in trouble. That's what they saw, right? So then they go like, well, if Chisora had Usyk in trouble, imagine what AJ would do.
You see, that's where they fuck up, right? That's where they mess up because two fighters are totally different. Now, that doesn't mean that AJ cannot apply his own pressure his own way because of his body size, the height difference between him and Usyk, that can get him in trouble. Of course, that can happen. But you can't concentrate on Chisora giving him a good fight, what you perceive to be a good fight, and trouble, right? When I just see that as that's part of boxing. Like every guy that fights you back, you're potentially in trouble. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So they're looking at Chisora and just automatically assuming that Chisora is a lesser fighter than AJ, and he probably is. But by how much? Do you even know? Right?
I don't even think it's that, man. I think it's more so just different styles, different body types. I mean, before AJ got knocked out, right, by Ruiz, he was a bit of an inside fighter, but it wasn't at all the same as Chisora. You know what I mean?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, like Chisora likes to put his head right inside your guard, try and split the guard with his head, just like, and then just go to the body. At least in that fight particularly, right? Like he was just roughing up Usyk. But AJ, he likes to, at least before or even during like the first Ruiz fight, right? Like when he dropped him, he like came in with the big hooks and go body head. He'd bury it up very fast and quick hooks as well. Unlike Chisora, they were thudding a bit slower. So I mean, they're just different fighters. Sorry for cutting you off, by the way.
No, absolutely. They're just different fighters. Usyk, Joshua is not built the same way. He doesn't fight the same way. That doesn't mean he's lesser than Chisora or he can't beat him. But it's just a total different game plan. You got to also remember he outweighed him by like fucking 40 pounds.
If you're the smaller guy and the bigger guys, if you're the smaller guy and the bigger guy's trying to smother you, which is Chisora's style, it's kind of hard for the smaller guy to get into his groove. But he eventually worked it out, so that's why he didn't look good.
Yeah, and Damn, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, he didn't bulk for that fight as well. You know, this fight he's bulking up. I think he's really going to look, you know, like he's settled into the weight class. After 3 fights, right? This is going to be his 3rd fight. I think he's going to look like a real heavyweight in this one.
Yeah, and some people complain about the weight, right? And it's like, you know, you got to understand, he's 6'3" tall. He has a long body frame. He has long arms, long torso. Guys that have that kind of build can afford to pack on weight, and it doesn't totally make them sluggish. So he's also a smart guy, very smart dude. So he understands what kind of body weight he needs. So he's had 2 fights, and he's saying to himself, especially after the last fight, where there was more of a competition. There was obviously a competition level different than his first heavyweight fight. And he said, I think I know what I have to do. I think I know how much weight now I need to put on. And that's why I don't put too much. Well, he's going to be heavy. He's going to be slow. He's going to be this. He's going to be that. I think that the guy already knew exactly what he had to do. This is why he did it.
Is he 6'3" or 6'4"?
I mean, either or, right? Like 6'3", 6'4".
Because like I remember because Bellew and him were the same height, and I think what's his name?
6'4"?
No, he's officially 6'3" as well. But David Hay is also 6'3", but he looked like a tad bit taller. So I don't know. Maybe Hay is shorter, or maybe both Bellew and Usyk are both 6'4". But I don't think it's going to be that huge of a height difference either.
I mean, even 6'6", 6'3", right? Okay, so you got Joshua at 6'6", 82 arm reach, 82 inches of arm reach. Or you could say wingspan, right?
Right.
Then you got Usyk, who's 6'3", 78 inches. That's just about right. They built equally, you know? Tells me that if if Fury was 6'6", he would have the same type of wingspan. So when you're talking about arm versus arm, what's that? Like an inch, maybe? An inch and a half, maybe the most? 2 inches in each arm?
What were the
dimensions?
Measurements again? Yeah.
82 inches for
AJ.
Usyk, AJ, and then Usyk 78.
82 to 78, so 4. So 2 on each side.
Yeah. Remember, when you're that big, the way they are, it's not like little fighters. The percentage of how much reach he has is actually lower than, let's say you got a fighter 5'8", 5'9", and one guy has 4 inches over the other. That's actually a lot more.
Yeah, but I mean, 4 inches is, these guys are, top level competitors, right? So even an inch, I do believe that they should be able to utilize an inch to their advantage. You know what I mean? Like, even though, yes, heavyweights, obviously, like, weight and size, the percentages, once compared to, like, smaller fighters, they're much bigger, the differences. But I think they should still be able to, take advantage of that. Because AJ, he can stay long. Like, his jab, a lot of people like to criticize this since he lost, right? His style. He's almost like a Klitschko now. He basically is, in my opinion, the way he's fighting, almost like identical. But look at his jab. Every single jab, it is snapping their guy's head back. It's not like he's not inflicting damage. And he's very long. His gloves look gigantic. It looks like some fucking clown shit. It like covers his whole fucking head. I don't get it, but yeah, man. I mean, he can stay long, and that I think we will see that be apparent in the fight. Because I've listened yesterday. I wasn't able to hop on the panel, but a lot of people were saying like Usyk needs to use angles, and yeah, I do agree. But he almost does need to fight that outside game, but trick AJ into coming into his distance and then slipping and throwing his own straights. He doesn't want to be in hooking distance with AJ. Because even though he is the bigger guy, and in theory, the smaller guy would want to be on the inside, I don't think that's true for this fight.
Some good points, man. Definitely. Yeah,
And if you, yeah, go ahead.
all going to be about who dictates the pace, man. If Usyk could dictate his,
Well,
he wins.
You think so?
He wins the fight. I think so.
yeah, that's who dictates the pace.
Yeah.
It's
Really?
like, yeah, Usyk could operate on the inside, but it depends how he does it. If he continuously changes the angles and is able to dictate the pace, where the other guy and Joshua's always constantly trying to keep up with him, but he's got the upper ante, then Usyk is controlling the fight on the inside. It's like my thinking. My thinking has always been that just because you're longer doesn't necessarily mean that that's always an advantage. Just think of Mike Tyson and the fighters before, Ray Mercer, Tua, those type of fighters.
Well, Tyson just had a style that could negate those advantages. If he was taller, he would have a much easier time with any of those guys. Like, if even an old Tyson, if he was like 6'4" and faced Lennox Lewis, like the same fight, same age, whatever, right? Same wear and tear. If he was the same size, he would probably crush Lewis, to be honest.
But that would take away probably from his style, that where he would just bend his knees down and throw like three short 3-punch combinations like within 1 second. That explosiveness, that would not be the same fighter. It would almost change. Like, it's hard to keep that up when you're taller. So there's certain advantages about being like a little icebox, like stout.
Well, let's not even say the same size. Like, let's just say he was 6 foot, right? 2 inches in height added. Or like maybe 6'1" or 6'2", like, so that there's not as much, because like he was like, even though it's officially like 6 inches, right? It looked almost like a foot in the ring when they both fought.
And remember, you can stay low and get up on the other dude's chest, and the taller guy is going to be harder for him to hit you, especially if you're moving your waist side to side and picking how you're going to attack. So I mean, yeah, that's Tyson, but mentioning Usyk similarly. If he decides to like change the angles, and pivot and punch, and the other guy's constantly swinging, having to like try to find him, then that's gonna play into Usyk's hands. But we gotta remember, Usyk is a correction. Joshua's a two-fisted fighter, so that'll be dangerous because Joshua can set a trap for Usyk and catch him coming in, whether he's pivoting on the left or on the right. Trying to look for that angle.
Yeah. I think he'll stay long, though, in this fight, honestly. Like, for himself. Obviously, for him to punch AJ, he's going to have to be in his range, technically. But I think he'll be able to slip punches and get his own straight punches in. I really don't think he should try and hook with AJ. Just because, people say that Usyk doesn't have power. I don't agree with that. I think it's mainly his punch form. Because, in all honesty, the way he punches, right, they're not slaps, but they kind of are. Like, if you ever look at him throwing combos, right, like he lands, instead of the main knuckles, right, the smaller knuckles, like I don't even know how to explain it. Like, he almost lands like an open fist, but he doesn't. He still lands on the knuckles.
He's landing with, instead of the straight on knuckles.
Yeah, the smaller ones.
Side, the smaller ones. Because he's trying to turn, but like it ends up.
But that's his form. He doesn't put full power into his punches, and and a lot of those times, right? They're kind of just basically arm punches, almost. Like they are quick and they are effective. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like he kind of fucks over his own power, because we've seen him land. Like when he knocked out Bellew, that was a devastating punch, and that was landing on the knuckles.
He throws these deceptive, like, I don't know. He turns his wrist over. He turns his elbows over. Like,
it's like a flick.
It's like a towel when you're. Have you ever hit somebody with the towel and you flick the towel and the towel turns tight in the end? It's all of a sudden out of nowhere. He can hit you with these punches that will hurt you. That will snap your head back too.
The flick of the wrist.
He doesn't necessarily load up on the power. He just turns it over and like it's like a chopping, sometimes like not a sweeping, like a chopping shot with speed.
Gonzalo, there's a YouTuber, 10 Players. You remember him?
No.
Okay, so he did a video. He did a video, Gonzalo, of a film study. a short little film study of Pacquiao Ugas, right? And anyway, it's before he does the film study. You have Muhammad Ali. He puts Muhammad Ali explaining the anchor punch, the punch that knocked out Sonny Liston.
Oh yeah.
When you don't see it coming, because he's trying to correlate what Manny Pacquiao does as in comparison to Muhammad Ali. That anchor punch where you have the little twist at the end of the punch, the twist, it's like a snap, like a pop, like a one of those with your wrist and your fist.
Mm-hmm.
And Muhammad Ali would explain it. How he would catch people a lot of times. I think it really applies to Manny Pacquiao especially, but how he would catch these guys and people would be like, "Damn, I didn't really see that. Didn't see that coming. I didn't see that punch landed." So Usyk has something similar to that too. Usyk does it too.
It could be like I could just imagine it might feel like a little like paralyzing because it shocks you. You don't see it coming.
Shocks you. It's called yep.
Usyk, because like Ali, right? When he did throw those quick arm punches, it was like the full arm, if that makes sense. But with Usyk, whenever you see him throw his hooks, it's actually just the elbow and the forearm moving, like mainly. But it still has power, which is weird. Like they're not knockout punches, obviously, but you look at the reaction of all of his fights, right? All the people that he's fought. They react in a way that's like, oh, wow, this is hurting me. This is too much. I need to back up. I need to cover up. Like, look at that Hunter fight, man.
Yeah.
What's up?
Well, the crazy thing that in my opinion that it's only coming from like where he's just twisting like the wrist, but it's actually coming all the way down from the legs because you got the bouncing and then you're creating like some energy. You're creating energy, and then you turn your torso a little bit. Then you
exactly right, Gonzalo.
You turn your shoulder over, and then you're turning your shoulder over. It might be disguised because you're not doing a full like turn, but the punch is generating force from the bottom of the legs.
It's actually a beautiful punch, man. If you know exactly how to do it, like you said, Gonzalo, you bounce on your feet, you step at the right time, do that, so it's coming from your leg.
Kinetic energy.
Punch go, and then and then you let that little snap at the end of the punch.
Just pretend you're bouncing on your feet, and then let's say we're water, but just pretend you're like. Have you ever seen somebody carry water, or you carried water yourself? How the water moves? It's harder.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to march with water because I used to be in the military. Because the water's always moving. Like a truck that's carrying water, he's got to be on point because the truck's hard to control because the water's moving back and forth. Just pretend you're bouncing up and down. All that weight is coming up, and if you choose to punch as your energy's coming up and your weight, then you just punch down. You throw a chopping shot down. You're creating a lot of force, which might not look like that, but it is.
Yeah, if you look at that Hunter fight, man, like especially in the round, I think what was it, like round 11, where he basically TKO'd him. The fucking ref didn't hop in for whatever reason, but he basically TKO'd him. And you see multiple times throughout that fight, like he'll hop up with the jab, and you'll see Hunter's head snap back like all the way, like he got hit with like a flush straight right hand. Like it's kind of it looks disorienting. That's the best way to put it, because you don't get knocked out by it, but I think it doesn't have necessarily a true snap, like a knockout snap. I think he puts a lot of his weight into those shots where he hops up, if that makes sense.
It's like Usyk's punches might not be hard all the time, but some of them are. And when he finds that punch at a certain point in time, wow, it's like almost I did what I've been wanting to do, but now I did it. And at the same time, while he ultimately he does that throughout the beginning of the fight, he's probably frustrating the other guy with the other guy's not landing. So when he finds his moment, It's like maybe I don't do it all the time, but when I do it, I finally got you with that punch, and that punch will hurt you.
Yeah, and he varies it up as well. Like I think you're talking about the more snappy shots, but some of his other shots as well. Like I feel like he doesn't really mix up the way he throws his power shots. Like sometimes they'll be like all snap, no thud, and then other times there will be only thud and no snap. And I really think that just comes down to his punch technique, which honestly I feel like it could be much better, and he would be getting these big knockouts. You know what I mean? It's kind of frustrating, but it's hard to explain, honestly, because I don't even know how you would. Because a lot of it, his punch technique is also like a benefit as well, because he is able to, throw a lot of output and overwhelm his opponents. So, I don't know.
I'll be back, guys. Like in 20 minutes if you're still on. I have to do something. I got some visitors. I think Jimmy's on.
What's up, Let me introduce Jimmy. What's up, Jimmy?
Yo, what up, man?
Going on, bro?
What you doing?
We just talking
brother,
shit,
man.
Talking boxing.
Fucking wait. I figure you started some over the Garcia Lopez fight being moved again.
So it's October 16th. Check this out, Jimmy. It's October 16th at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So they're selling you Teofimo versus Cambosa, and they're gonna throw a little treat for you. It's called this versus battle.
What's that? Son?
So it's this old school hip hop rappers from the 90s, mainly in the early 2000s, battling each other.
In a hip hop contest?
Yeah, like lyrics. It's lyric for lyric, freestyle, right? Like,
well, because that really every time that's so fucking weird, dude. I've been going to boxing matches for decades, and you don't know how many times I've sat here in the fucking stands between guys going, man, I wish there was some dudes like having a fucking lyrical battle off. That would be just like, it would make this night complete. Like, what the fuck are they thinking?
Yeah.
It's just,
check it out.
really?
So, think about it. They're gonna be able to attract a certain demographic, so they can watch the Teofimo fight. Because you can't just sell Teofimo Cambosos by itself. You get what I'm saying? You just can't sell it that way.
Then again, well, as far as that, unless they're digging up fucking Tupac and Biggie to have the battle off, I could give a flying fist fuck. You know what I mean? Just to be straight up about two dudes having a fucking lyrical battle. Get the fuck out of here. I want to see a fight, but yeah, no, come on, that fucking fight's that fight's been moved more than my bowels.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And then you got Mikey Garcia coming out with his statement. Did you see that? Man, it was. I was gonna fight. Yeah, he was talking about fighting Progas. He finally made because there was all the talk about that was going to happen this year. But he put out a statement like, I was going to do what I want. I was really looking forward to it, but it just wasn't in his own budget this year. But he leaves it at that. He doesn't go on to say because that jack-off wants over $7 million for the fight. Like, fuck off, dude. Just retire. That whole crop of mercenaries needs to fuck right off. Seriously. They're destroying boxing. Dude, you're not even a fucking champion. You wanted to fight, over $7 million to fight someone else who's not even a champion? Like, it just blows my mind what these clowns are doing to the sport.
But they're not making. But Jimmy, they're not making. Why will you give him $7 million if you're not making?
Because what happened? DAZN. This is the problem. When you throw around that big money, because DAZN paid him $7 million to fight Vargas. Remember when they were courting him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a mistake. So what happens once you pay that kid? Like, it's almost like they think, well, you got to understand, we gave you that because of this reason, that reason. But realistically, no, that's not how these dudes think. I got 7 last time. This guy's even better, so I should get more. It's like, no, dude, you should get what you're worth, bro. You might be able to pull some numbers in, but you're not worth that kind of money, nor is this fight. So, yeah.
Well, according to Eddie Hearn, they paid him that much because they were hoping that they were going to get him to stay with DAZN and fight Pacquiao in Saudi Arabia or some shit. So
exactly, they were courting his ass.
Yeah.
But that never happened. Obviously.
And then he talked about the guy he is fighting. He goes, "That's not a bad little fight." Like he's like, dude, who are you trying to convince? That fight sucks.
Who's
I'm
he
not
fighting?
gonna waste my time. He's fighting some. Well, I don't know who the fuck it is. I've never heard of him. Typical.
It's a guy from Spain.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, "Fuck. Well, it's a good little warm up. What the fuck? You want to warm up? To go to the gym. You inactive fuck. It's such a joke."
Yeah, he should be sparring Virgil if he wants a good fucking warm up.
Virgil will eat that boy up.
Welterweight? Fuck yeah. Virgil Ortiz would smoke Garcia.
Yep.
He shouldn't be fighting at welterweight.
No, not at all.
But he's going to fight Progress at 140, I believe, which would be smarter for him.
You're talking about Mikey
wants to
Garcia,
go back
right?
up.
What's that?
You're talking about Mikey Garcia, right?
Mikey Garcia, exactly.
Mikey.
Mikey Garcia.
Yeah, he gets folded like a fucking lawn chair, man.
Exactly, against fucking I mean, he just shouldn't be at welterweight. Never had no business being a welterweight, and that was painfully obvious against Spence. That was an embarrassment. Threw more punches at the fucking ceiling than he did Spence. So what's the topic tonight, boys? Baba Booey.
Baba Booey. There's no really zero topics.
My name's all the way at the bottom, man. I'm gonna have to shift that. I'm gonna have to say Anderson Aldo, Super Saiyan, or some shit. I need to stay at the top, man. I didn't know it was alphabetical order.
You just need to say Baba Booey and you'll be all right. Trust me.
That's all you got to say. Just remember
That's all you
that,
gotta say.
brother.
When you're lost, just say Baba Booey.
And it'll all come to you.
Yeah, everything will come together, man.
Hey, I'm.
Yeah.
Do you guys think Joshua's gonna fight from that? I feel Joshua fought Ruiz the way he did because he said he just wanted his fucking belts back. I don't think he's gonna fight that way.
Because he was scared. That's why he fought like that. He's fighting like Klitschko because he don't want to get pinned again.
Well, obviously, but it looked to me because Joshua's one of those people that he wants. It's like he needs the approval of the crowd. And that fight, he did not give a fuck. He was, I just want my belts back. I'm gonna fight on the outside. I'm not giving you the time of day for you to catch me. I don't care what anybody says. And he just got his belts and walked away.
I think
And
you're
fucking
100% right.
Ruiz was a fat blob in that fight too, so it's not even impressive, man.
Oh no!
What was he like? He gained like 40 pounds of fat. How do you even do that? How much food do you have to eat to gain that much?
285,
dude.
285.
What did he weigh before in the first fight? What was
I
it?
think he was like 265, 265.
Like, did you just? I mean, we get that he didn't train, but like,
Trained at Taco Bell.
come on, man. He trained a little bit for that fight. I mean,
yeah, Taco Bell.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I ate the
He
whole
folded in.
buffet, man.
He folded in, man. The fucking the pressure, just the pressure of it. Like that's what I keep talking about with Plant. That's what he's gonna experience. Wait till fight night when the whole thing, man. His nerves are gonna be roasting. He's never experienced any of that. I mean, you want to know what's wrong with boxing? Caleb Plant's about to get $10 million. Dude's never done anything to earn that kind of fucking.
Good for him.
What do you mean?
That backdoor of fucking.
Dude, he's a slick American black boxer, man. What are you talking about?
That's true, man. You got a good point.
What do they call him? Token?
White chocolate. That's what Recognize likes to say, man.
Yeah, white chocolate. That's who he is.
The great white dope.
Speaking about white chocolate, you see fucking King Bucho? Buko? I don't know how to say his name. You see his profile picture?
Yeah.
No, what is it?
That's white chocolate right there. It's fucking Justin
White
Trudeau
chocolate.
with blackface on.
Send me a picture.
Oh, look at Trudeau. It's fucking Justin. What a clown.
That dude sucks, man.
Yeah, I hate him. I literally hate that dude. I would. If I saw him, I'll chin check him, like right in front of everybody. Bitch. And I'll call him a bitch too. Once he hits the
You're gonna
floor.
get the RCMP on your ass.
Fucking bitch. Yeah, I'll be dead. But it would be funny, right? It would be a highlight reel. Just seeing him on the floor knocked out.
We'd play it on the channel.
Dude, he's literally fucking Castro's bastard son.
Have you
seen the side by side of Castro and him?
It's his son.
Well,
Did you guys see him?
His mom was a dirty girl, man. She
A whore.
beaver shots at the fucking Studio 54. Literally giving beaver shots, no panties on.
And she got
Prime Minister of Canada's wife.
Jimmy, I think she got paid like $250,000 or maybe even $500,000. Her mother got paid that just to give a speech at some charity thing. So it's like, why do you have to pay her that much? And who the hell is she to start giving speeches for that much money? Like,
well, she told Vanity Fair back in the day that when her husband Pierre punched her in the face, that's when she realized how much he loved her.
Yo, what a
bitch got daddy issues.
No shit. Holy crap.
I mean, you got a fucking guy. What was he? A fucking part-time ski instructor and a teacher? Or a substitute teacher, and a part-time ski instructor
for acting.
Is now teacher. Fucking
an acting teacher.
Like theater. Oh, unbelievable.
Dude, his quote unquote real father looks nothing like him at all.
No,
like,
he
not
looks
even
more like
close,
Castro, man, for sure. But we're this is like starts to sound like a second Renaissance show.
Back to
if
boxing.
you're listening, anybody can
back
jump on. The link is in the description.
You're a little bit low, by the way, King.
I am.
No, King.
What?
I don't know if it's just me, but your mic seems.
Yeah, Bucho, I can barely hear you too, my brother.
Is it better now?
It's much better now, Bucho.
Okay, so I know what this. Okay, I see what's going on. All right.
See, I didn't know if he was drinking. See, it's like if you had a couple of cocktails, you might have told us to go fuck ourselves.
Yeah.
Bucho don't play with a couple of cocktails.
Exactly.
I want to warn you, bro. Bucho's the man.
Yeah. Fuck, this is loud now. All right. Yeah. So what we're talking about? Oh yeah, yesterday that guy who jumped in. I don't think people were being. I mean, nobody was being hard on that guy. The guy who was talking about Devin Haney and Lomachenko. I don't know if you guys remember.
It sounded emotional, man.
It was delusional.
I wish I was on the fucking panel. I could say something. That dude he was in his feelings. I don't know what was up with that, man.
Oh yeah, he was balls deep in his feelings. That's what was driving his opinion, was his feelings. He wasn't driving it on.
I don't know how
reality
you can...
of the situation.
Right. If everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? But I just didn't understand why you wanted to portray Lomachenko as a talker when he fought Teofimo Lopez. Now he said, and Jimmy, maybe you can clarify this. He was arguing that Lomachenko didn't. He could have fought Devin Haney and then Teofimo Lopez. Like he had enough time to do both.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying. He was saying and he was also implying, without saying how, that he wanted the franchise belt, meaning like that was his way of avoiding having to fight. What I was told was the WBC sent out emails to all their champions saying we're going to do the franchise belt for certain franchise type fighters. Obviously, Lomachenko's an egotistical, good, guy. I mean, he got his ego, and he was like, "Yeah, fuck it." He thinks he deserves one. So it was never about, and if you get this franchise belt, we're gonna, that way you don't have to fight Haney. Like that's how he made it sound. Like he took that franchise belt so he didn't have to fight Haney, which wasn't the case. It isn't the case. And how the fuck do you fight Teofimo, Lopez, who anybody who knows anything about boxing will tell you is a far more dangerous opponent than Devin Haney, especially with power when you're a little guy like Lomachenko. But he didn't want to even concede that one point.
Right. And it was too chaotic to actually debate, but his name was Rich. Rich, if you're listening, jump back in.
Haney fans are weirdos, man. I really
it's a new breed.
I don't see it, man.
It's a new phenomenon. I mean, it's we haven't seen. I mean, because
I think Tio fans are weirder.
They probably are, but
yeah,
that doesn't take the fact that Haney fans are like they're delusional. It's like,
I think
first of
You
all, your
might find a
your
lot of
boy
the
can't.
same, right?
we need
Your
more
boy,
time.
your boy can't bust a grape, man. You can't bust a grape. You know.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown much power.
Not again. He only showed
You know,
power against that Mexican guy, who he knocked the fuck out.
well,
The tall Mexican guy.
and
That's
it shows of power. And not only does it, and it also shows that his like guys can get anybody can get stung, and when you take one right on the chin, it's how much like a tough dude guys who can take beatings shake it off. Like Mickey's been stunned, right? Every fighter's been stunned, but it's can you shake it off? That motherfucker 3 minutes later was still goofy legged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That really affected him, that shot. So that tells me, okay, so you don't punches. I mean, you don't have you don't hit hard. And to me, his chin's still suspect because he hasn't fought a legitimate opponent yet. He hasn't fought in a 50-50 fight.
Yeah, and Jimmy,
So
we're
nobody
talking.
knows what he can take.
We're talking about a guy in Devin Haney who people are already mentioning how he's gonna like be a multiple weight division champion. So no power at 135 or questionable power at 135. Imagine at 140, 147. What's that gonna be like?
Come on, no way. It's not going to happen.
Oh, they knock
One
him out
fighter
at
would be a
140.
sailing. I mean, he's in my eyes, until you fight a 50-50 fight against who can fucking not just catch but also throw. You know what I mean? And you've done that. Then I say, okay, now you moved on to this guy's been a champion 2 years, and as far as I'm concerned, he's still a pro. Nobody knows. Nobody's going to know what's going to happen until he's in there and he takes a shot. If Linares rocked him like that for 4 minutes, what the fuck would Lopez or somebody can really crack do?
Yeah, we think Lomachenko would do to him. Lomachenko would fucking rip that boy up. It'll be like a ninja. Just
Dude, when he has somebody hurt, no, he might not have that concussive one-punch power, but when he has somebody hurt, he's shown he doesn't usually they don't usually hang around once he smells blood.
And they show, that guy Rich. He's talking about Lomachenko should fight. What's his name? Haney. Like Haney really wants to fight. There's fucking Haney on the zone calling out JoJo. He ain't mentioning nothing about Lomachenko. You know, because they don't want to fight him.
Yeah.
They don't want to fight him.
It was just.
But his dad said they didn't want to fight Lomachenko. His own dad said it. They said his dad said they don't see any benefit in beating Lomachenko.
They don't see any benefit. Check it out. They don't see any benefit. And who have you, Haiti? I would just simply bring it back to his dad. So if you don't see any benefits to beating Lomachenko, who the hell has your son beaten that could top that?
That's such an ignorant, disingenuous statement.
Yeah.
Whoever was in the interview who didn't say, wait a minute, you don't see nothing positive in beating a guaranteed first round Hall of Famer who's already accomplished things in boxing nobody else has, who is on everybody's, most smart people's top pound per pound list. It's like, it's so ridiculous.
His son would have to beat, you know who his son would have to beat that's better than that? Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an absurd
statement.
Like, who the fuck are you talking about, bro? Your son is a nobody. He has
an absurd statement by a father trying to cover the fact that his son has never fought anybody. That's what it is.
His son hasn't fought nobody. Linares and Gamboa. Dudes that are past their prime. Okay? And like, I don't want to shit on, but you're going to make me nitpick now. But those two victories that your son has is nothing to be proud of, because Gamboa and Linares' previous L's were all by knockouts until they fought your
They've
son.
been combined, right? 7 knockouts together, combined. And Linares, 2 fights before, was iced in the first round.
Yeah.
He was knocked out in the first round. So Linares is beautiful fucking boxer with some of the prettiest combos in his prime. Was always his issue. But yes, it's a good win, a nice veteran win over a veteran guy, but way past his prime. And the key thing, like you said, he took them both to the distance. In fact, I don't think he even rocked either one of them. Gamboa, that motherfucker's been down more than fucking a hooker on a
20-piece. And that fucking dude, he never even rocked him.
And I think Haney could box. He's definitely good. But what you gonna do when you don't have no power and that man chin checks you? He starts chin checking you in the later rounds when you're tired. Come on, son. Listen, man. What he is a kid, right? He's a kid. He's not ready for the men. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. He's not like he has a kid in his. He has fighters that are his age that are more mature than him power wise. He needs to stick to his lane and try to figure those out, and then become more mature. He'll get fucking chopped up against men fighters. That's what will happen to him.
Yeah, Linares had nothing left.
But I will say though, it almost, him not just knocking them out, but instead just outboxing them. In a way, it kind of is impressive in its own right. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very impressive. But I could see him outboxing Teofimo Lopez for almost 12 rounds, and Lopez chin checking him, and this boy's finished. He's finished. All that work down the drain because you have baby power. You got to have manpower. Manpower puts everything in perspective. It makes your opponent say, "Hold on, I need to chill for a second."
It's not even that. He needs a better chin.
Well, no, chin. Remember, when you're going into the later rounds, your body starts to drain, and I'm not going to knock him for that. He's just a human being.
I get it.
But since he has no power, there's nothing to really fear. Right? You need to make somebody fear you, or else they're going to be throwing hard punches in the later rounds that you're going to react differently to. There's a lot he needs to fix. Stay in your lane and take your little stupid ass fans with you too. Tell them to stay in their lane.
Yeah. I mean, I get some of their arguments, but yeah, I mean, I do.
Well, it would be an impressive. He's a skillful kid, but I just don't like when they start talking above their pay grade. Listen, he's never fought anybody, and the thing is, like, those guys with decent wins. It was, he outboxed them, but again, they had a combined age of 73, been knocked out 7 times. I mean, these were guys past their prime. And again, they were cherry-picked to make him look good. These were guys he was supposed to put away. And he tried, like against Gamboa, he even said he tried. And then, of course, he changed the story. That's another thing I like. Like, you start changing, and you trying to, I wanted to beat him worse than everybody else. I boxed him. That was his narrative. But immediately after the fight, he was talking about how he tried to knock him out, but he couldn't.
Yeah, and Jimmy, on top of that, by the way, hello, guys. On top of that, after the fight, Haney, Devin Haney, he went to Linares asking him, so how was my power? Expecting Linares to compliment him on his power. And Linares was like, well, not bad. And then later they were interviewing Linares alone in his dressing room, asking him about Haney's power. He said he can punch, he cannot punch. But by the way, the reason I jumped on is to say one thing real quickly, and then I'm going to bed. So just before the show, I was listening to the rest. I was catching up on the previous episode from the last night, and that retard who jumped on to defend Haney. Man, he's such a shill. He's just like Bill Haney. I mean, he's just a slick talker who's doing the verbal gymnastics, trying to big up Haney and talk.
Maybe it was Bill Haney.
Because look, one thing that all of you guys failed to mention, probably because you haven't seen the interview, but before Haney was supposed to fight Linares, that girl, that blonde Snow Queen, she was interviewing Lomachenko, and he was trashing Linares, not Linares, Haney, because basically what Haney did, Bill Haney scheduled a fight, signed the fight with Linares, and Linares signed it. And then, in order to hype up his fight with Linares, Bill Haney called on Lomachenko and his team pretending that they want to fight Loma and that they're inviting them to negotiations to fight right away. And so Loma and his team were like, okay, and they contacted Linares' team, and so Linares' team told them that yeah, indeed, they signed the fight, and so because of that, Loma was trashing the shit out of Bill Haney and Devin Haney, and
I remember that. I remember that. Yep.
yeah, recognize. So he was extremely disappointed, and he was telling him to sign the fight, to send the contract, that he's ready anytime he wants. He can beat his ass, and that was everything. That's how
I
it
already,
ended.
I remember that. I forgot to bring that up to that dude. I'm like, listen, look, man, I've heard your dad. I've heard your dad. I mean, maybe Bill Haney is his dad too, but I've heard Bill Haney say on other people's stream, including Anthony's, that they never made any attempts to make the fight with Lomachenko. And I don't even knock him for that. I don't really knock him for that. With the belt thing, I knock him a little bit for it, right? Because look, they're handing out belts, but you're not the champion. You do know that, right? Like you didn't beat nobody for it. And I already know this little young boy who got like a little baby face ain't gonna beat a fucking killer like Lomachenko. Come on, man. Lomachenko will kill him right now. Not beat him. He'll fuck him up the way he did Nakatani. Okay? Because he'll just take him into deep waters and the guy can't punch. On top of that, he can't punch. He got a big nose. That's a bad sign. Okay? He busts his nose up, break up his face like he's never had his face broken up before. Then on top of that, he got no power to keep that shit honest. Because at least one thing, right? You're getting fucked up and you know you could hurt somebody with a good punch. That's something you have in your heart, in your mind too. But what about when you don't have it and you know that? You're gonna start butterfly starts kicking into your chest, starts getting tight, and then your throat starts getting tight. Next thing you know, you're all over the fucking floor.
Yeah,
You guys don't know nothing about boxing. You never fought in your life. Trust me, I know that. Because if you did, you would see the obvious. This guy's not ready yet. Not for those guys.
Absolutely not. And I mean, you can make a case that, yes, indeed, the best possible version of Haney would trouble Loma because of his dimension, kind of like he was struggling against Campbell, but still clearly won probably most of those rounds, probably each and every round. And so, yeah, he cannot fuck with Lomachenko. The only way he can fuck with him, the only way he can beat him is eating drugs at the gay orgy with Puff Daddy, but that's all. By the way, I have to drop. Thank you for having me on. I'll keep on listening. Peace, guys.
Yeah, I was arguing with
Peace, official. Peace, bro.
Somebody got a notification, man. Someone's calling.
The hell was that?
Gotta pick up the phone, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't get how people can say that Haney outboxes Lomachenko. Like, that's just, I don't get it. Unless maybe
saying
like
in the future he can't beat guys like a Lomachenko. But let's put in this perspective. It would be Lomachenko who's old, who's older, and it'll be Haney who's more experienced. Right? And he probably, by the time he gets more experience, he's going to probably be too big for that weight class anyway.
Yeah.
But right now, and people take this the wrong way when I say this, right now he's soft. Soft means
it's
susceptible.
Yes.
That Lomachenko's experience would probably prove too much, but he's got some abilities, like natural abilities and some technical abilities. Because he gave Linares a tough fight based on those abilities and those technical abilities. The jab and the quickness to be able to constantly keep that jab in his face and have Linares overwhelmed like the older Linares. Those things would give anybody problems. But in the end of the day, Lomachenko's experience would probably prove too much, and he would probably do something that would hurt him. But in the beginning of the fight, it would be competitive. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we got Pete, Uncle Pete in the house. We had Pete.
Yeah, I think he just left.
Eat, you fucking creep. Where did you go?
Hey, Greek. Speak.
Asshole. You asshole.
I love
ass.
Kiss my fucking ass.
Kiss my ass. Hey, what the fuck, man? Y'all went for a while last night, huh?
Yeah, man. We went for like 6 hours.
What? Yeah,
Took
but
some boxing Viagra before the show.
Nice. I missed some. I missed like the fight. Whatever happened. What happened? Somebody called up.
It was good.
I didn't listen. I just saw this morning the timestamp said 6 hours. I go, what the fuck? I thought.
Well, some dude calling up fucking, where the fuck does Pete live? I'm gonna fuck that kid up. And man, fucking recognize, it was crazy. Recognize, I was telling him I was gonna fucking chop the dude up and leave him in suitcases all over Long Island.
That was my dealer. That was my dealer. The fuck does Pete live? God damn it. No.
So you tell Pete that if he doesn't come up with my money, I'll leave you in pieces all over Long Island Beach. Have fun finding them.
Fucking crab food, motherfucker.
Oh, Lord.
What's going on, Pete? What do you think? What do you think? Tell me what you think, Pete.
Well, I actually heard the beginning of this show about the what's the deal about the AJ situation, AJ and Usyk?
Yeah, you can talk about that if you want. We were talking about how some people think that Usyk looks bad as a heavyweight so far. What do you think?
No, I don't think he looks bad at all. He's skill wise, he's probably got to be near the top. You know what I mean? But size matters, man, and he's a cruiserweight coming up to heavyweight. He's on the smaller side of the heavyweight division. Let's just say it like that. I'm not saying he's small. I'm not saying he's weak. I'm not saying it's all about strength, but come on now. He's giving away size and he's giving away brute strength to a guy like Chisora, for instance, right? I heard you guys talking about someone said he was in trouble in that fight. He wasn't in trouble. He fought an intelligent fight. He's not going to march straight forward and hook off with Derek Chisora, and that's all Derek Chisora really could do. Why stand in the phone booth with him for the first 3 rounds like an idiot? That'd be psychotic, right?
Yeah, especially when the guy outweighs you by like 40 pounds.
Outweighs you. He wants to hook the shit out of you. You know, you're not going to hook off with him. He's in a tiny little ring. That ring was tiny. And so, yeah, he was circling around. He was getting his distance and staying on his toes to start with, try to take him deep. And, yeah, it was this tiny little baby crib of a ring with some loose-ass ropes. And Chisora was coming straight forward. You know what I mean? Like Lopez came after Thurman. Remember that fight? I mean, he was just like fucking like a mad dog going after it. So that's what I'll say for Usyk on the positive side. Now, but to keep it real, I never thought Chisora because of the way Usyk played it, which is intelligent. I don't think Chisora had the opportunity early on in the fight to really clip him and hurt him. But Usyk did land some shots, but again, he wants to take Chisora deep and land some shots that would maybe stun him a little bit, but he never had him in trouble. So he is giving away weight. You know, I mean, it's a heavyweight. You're punching a heavyweight chin, and you're trying to come off your toes and sit down to do it. It's a tall order, man. It's tough. For that reason only, I think that's why I got AJ winning a decision. That's the only reason I pick AJ, not for any kind of. I don't need to see the fucking weigh-in or anything. I'm just.
You got AJ.
Yeah, for sure.
He should be the favored person, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree with that. Yeah.
I'm just calling it like I see it. It's
money.
Yeah,
he's bigger. The money's on his side. He's a bigger fighter.
Yep. It's in his home. It's in his home
backyard
territory.
Yep.
I don't think that matters to Usyk. You know, I think they're both. Honestly, I think they're both. I like the way both of them carry themselves professionally. I like the way both of the way that those guys conduct themselves. I don't foresee either one of them coming in out of
He's
shape or off
professional.
camp. They're both professional and they're both
Yeah.
really good too. You know, they're both really good
AJ
too.
is
They know
fake,
it.
man.
Yeah, he's
He plays up the good boy, you know, like nice guy, you know, stand up man, but he's a piece of shit.
I don't know. I'm not trying to date him. I'm talking about
Tell us how you really feel, brother, man. Don't hold back. You're gonna get an aneurysm.
I'm not even saying like that deep. I'm just saying, as far as boxing goes, I care about
you
what
gotta
happens in
look
the ring,
objectively
and
at the fights.
yeah, you guys are talking about like, you know, how some of these guys act outside of the ring, how they talk and shit. You know.
Oh fuck! I mean, didn't he bang fucking Khan's old lady? Didn't he lay the pipe to her?
There was a rumor. I don't know what happened. Like, there's a whole bunch of rumors about me. He fucked
Well, she was
Khan's
tired.
girl.
She was tired of dating women, so she went for a man. Finally, that's what that is. Now, listen, if he did that, and he knows Khan, it's kind of fucked up. Yeah, I would say that's kind of fucked up.
Well, Khan randomly just started coming on Twitter saying, "You fucked my wife. You fucked my wife." And then like AJ like was sort of like, "Huh?" Like that.
Yeah, AJ had that. What are you talking about, bro? I never fucking
like it was kind of funny. Like I don't even know if it was true. He just like heard a rumor and he just jumped the gun. But that was embarrassing on Khan's part. Man.
Well, didn't fucking Anthony tweet out something like, "Once you go heavyweight, you never go back"?
Also, he said,
I don't know, but that's
he
funny
said,
as shit.
he said, what he say? He said, besides, I like my women BBW. That's what he said.
That
Actually,
girl ain't fat though.
no, he's saying I never did anything with Khan's wife.
Oh yeah, his
By the
response.
way, yeah. And by the way, I like my women BBW.
What's that? Big? That's black and big, though, right?
Big
women.
beautiful, no, big beautiful women, but it's really big fat chicks. That's all it is to me.
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you like a chick with an
Don't
ass
get
that
me
looks
wrong,
like
I
50
like
pounds
thick-
of chewed bubble gum. Fuck
I
out.
like thick girls, but my definition of thickness compared to a lot of dudes is totally different, man.
A lot of guys.
Yeah.
That bitch is fat. She ain't thick. You know.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, she's
Yeah.
fat, man. That's not thick.
Yeah.
I'll show you thickness, and I'll point them
Dude,
to a girl. They're like, no, she's like a model. Like, no, she's not, man. She's thick.
Yeah. I think AJ looks kind of sus to me as well, man. I don't think he's completely straight. I think that dude he meets he fucks dudes under the ring in his fucking gym or some shit, man. Like just look at him. He looks like a fruit, man. It's just something about his face.
A kid, right?
He's metrosexual.
Is he
You
married?
seen that Africa
No, is he
tattoo on
married
his
though? 'Cause
arm?
I know
dude?
he's got a
What are you
kid, but
trying?
is he married to the
I
broad?
think he has I think he has a kid. I believe he has a kid, man.
But guys, if I cared about,
did he do it old school style and not marry her like a degenerate?
No, he just banged her, I think, and she got his kid. Yeah.
You don't look. You want to have a kid?
Well, let's be honest. She had his kid because he's AJ. You get it? Yeah.
Well, I get. Well, why are you even having a kid if you are AJ and if you don't want to marry the bitch? I mean, is it that hard to? I don't know.
Wrap it up.
he didn't do a new school style like Verdejo did. All right, come on now. Now look, the thing about it is
Verdejo, right?
he is pro-choice.
Oh, that's fucked up. Fucked up.
Is this? If I cared about these guys' personal lives, I don't mean to like be offensive, but if I cared about these guys' personal lives, I wouldn't be talking to Jimmy and Recognize. I mean, be real. These two scumbags. Hey! You can't get caught up in that. It's in the ring. All I'm saying it's in the ring, and you know, the thing about AJ and Usyk is this, man. I don't know. He got clipped against Ruiz and all this, but he stuck his fucking head in the lion's mouth like a dumbass. Thought that he had this guy hurt. Came in with his chin up and got clipped. It's not going to happen against Usyk. Totally different fighter, and he's got a chin. He took that shot from Klitschko, and he almost decapitated Klitschko with that uppercut. If he hits fucking Usyk with that uppercut, I'm gonna tell you something now. It's gonna be a fucking rainy night in the Ukraine. It's gonna be a fucking.
Yeah, I talked about that uppercut, that sequence, right? It's dirty. He cuffs him.
Yeah, it is dirty. Right. He cuffed him.
He's allowed to do it.
Back of the head. He did.
Yeah, and he's done it consistently.
And Klitschko was doing it in that fight too. So I guess as the ref, you gotta let him play. You know, kind of like in
He
football.
cuffed him behind the head. I don't remember Klitschko doing that. Most of his punches were straight.
Oh, he hit him with an uppercut in the 6th round, almost fucking killed him. He caught
That
AJ
was
with the
around
same
where he
shot.
got dropped, right?
I think
And then he
AJ
came
got dropped
back?
first, and then he dropped Klitschko the next round. So it was like
No,
five.
other way. Klitschko got dropped. He came back in the same round, then he dropped him in the next round.
There you go. But I thought he clipped him with an uppercut, same ways. I thought it was almost the same punches.
Yeah,
The point
AJ
being
punched
that-
himself out.
Yeah,
But
that's
go
what
ahead.
I'm saying.
Go ahead.
So that's my point, right? What I saw in that Pulev fight, Jimmy was talking. I don't even know if he remembers. He's probably on all kinds of substances. He remembers this, but he was saying after that Pulev fight, like if AJ would have just calmed down, you know, he probably could have stopped Pulev. But he was so fucking like he was so fucking zipped up that night. You know, banging his gloves all hard, banging them down, and then banging them up. You know, when they were doing the final instructions, and you know, smothering his work. He was just attacking like kind of like a wild man. And I hate to keep saying it. He's not Golovkin, but if he would just methodically go about it like Triple G does, and use his range, and then set up the knockout if it comes, he could dominate. You know.
I think
So-
Anthony Joshua was the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree.
Well, he knows boxing.
Somewhat intelligent. Like if you
He's not gonna do my taxes.
if you look at his, you know, I guess it might just be because he's British, but he speaks well. You know, he doesn't talk like an idiot. So I don't think he's
It's like a
that
Confucius
dumb.
with Down syndrome, the way he says all those proverbs and shit. It's like, I'd rather be a gardener out of a war than in a war, or he's saying retarded shit all the time. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking
But let me correct you on something, Pete. You know, that's what I'm here for. First of all, he did stop Pulev. Okay, you kept saying.
He did. I thought so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I meant knocked him out. You know, if you know what I'm saying, like really knocked him out. The ref jumped in, right? The ref stopped it.
I think he had dropped him like 3 times or something, and then just the referee stopped it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was one of those hometown. It was kind of one of those.
No, he was
how do I
done.
say it?
Come on.
Yeah,
He was out of
done,
it, man.
but
He was out of
goddamn,
it.
I mean, he was out of it. But I'm just saying he could have done it in a more dominant fashion if he had just settled down. And I know
He's
Jimmy's
fighting like Klitschko now, man. Because he's
he's
scared.
fighting like Wilder a little bit, just too fucking railed up, man. You know, he's all jacked up, and in the post-fight interview, he's like, "Who are you gonna fight next, Eddie?" Yeah, you know, it's like, calm, dude.
You think he swings like Wilder? I think he's doing his Klitschko route. After you get knocked out, then you play it safe, and you know,
I don't see it. I
stays
mean, listen.
long and then clinches on the inside. Does a few dirty shit. Like that's how he fought the Pulev fight, the Ruiz rematch, and probably how he's going to fight this fight.
With shorter guys, that's what he needs to do. He's got a problem with guys getting up underneath him. Takam, definitely Andy Ruiz. He's got
But
a
back
problem.
then. Yeah, wait, go ahead. My bad.
I'm just saying he fights a little too tall and too stiff sometimes, and a shorter guy can get up underneath him.
You think
And
so?
I don't. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think he actually fights too much like a short fighter. He likes the inside fight when he should be staying longer.
Well, in certain fights, he has shown that. I've seen AJ. I believe it was either the Povetkin or the Takam fight when he was fighting really close, and he had his arms kind of tucked close. He wasn't keeping range, and he was kind of
Povetkin.
Was it Povetkin fight? Yeah. It was one of
He
them.
did in the Ruiz fight too, the first one. He fought
right.
like an inside fighter, and he got fucking clipped.
He wasn't using his natural length, his God-given abilities. He wasn't
his attributes. Yeah, I get you.
He just wasn't doing it.
So I agree with both of you.
But he fights better as an inside fighter. Like,
yeah, but hang on. Now, wait. There's two separate things. You guys are both I think you're both right. Like, if you're gonna fight a guy that you completely outrange, like a Ruiz or a Takam, yeah, you set it up. Use your range. Don't knock the guy down. Get a knockdown, and then dive in there and stand in his wheelhouse. Right? That would be just as dumb as Usyk standing in the wheelhouse with Strzelczyk. Why would he sit there and fucking do that for no reason? Now, what I was saying though is about simply the height part of it. it's like he wants to jab. I'm not saying Takam or Povetkin ever hurt him, but I just didn't like the way they were ducking under his jab so easily. You know, he's trying to keep his range, but he's just too stiff about it. And these guys are up underneath him too fast. That's not going to be a problem with Usyk because Usyk's it's just a different height and left-handed. It's going to be not going to be an issue.
You're saying the jab won't be an issue for Usyk? AJ's jab won't be an issue?
Oh, that'll be the whole. I think that'll be the entire first 4 or 5 rounds is going to be AJ's jab and tracking down Usyk and Usyk's ability to fence with that front hand. That lead hand is very effective for Usyk. You know, that fencing style he's got.
But what you just said, like before that, though, right? Like, so are you saying that AJ's jab won't be effective, or it will be?
I don't think it's going to come down to that, to be honest. I think he's going to have to catch up with Usyk as
Even
early
though
as
he's a smaller man.
I think it's going to be super important myself.
Yeah, I don't think Usyk's going to just trade off with AJ. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be totally wrong, but
I believe the first 3 rounds, AJ is going to come in. He's going to try and control the center of the ring and establish some dominance. And I think he's going to try and impose. You know, I don't think he's going to go in there all like Chisora and shit, but he's definitely going to try and impose his size and try and establish some kind of flow or kind of he's not going to be backing up. I think he's going to try and control. I think he's going to try and impose himself in the first 3 rounds. And then after that, after he does that, if he does have some success with jab and he does have some success with his right to the body, because he better do those 2 things. He better do everything I just said, because if he doesn't do those things, it's going to be a long fucking night. But after that, if he does have any kind of success with the jab, which I think he will, because his reach is fucking crazy, and
it's a
not the
fast jab
slowest
too.
jab in the world.
Yeah,
it's not the
it's a
slowest
fast
jab.
jab.
Yeah, it's not the slowest jab in the world. So he should have some success in the first 3 rounds. But I think after that, Usyk's going to adapt, turn up, start using his legs, start connecting with halfway decent shots, and then he's going to throw in the odd kind of really hard one, and then he's going to go back to feinting, pity pat, and I think Usyk's going to feint up top and go to the body a lot, a la kind of like the what the fuck was that fight with that hype job? Yard. Yard versus Kovalev, kind of to the body, right? Yeah, he's gonna go to the body like that, and he's gonna go to the body excessively, to the point of almost a fault. Because I believe that Joshua will be landing some jabs and continue to land jabs, but I think he's gonna gas. I just don't think, no matter what he does to mitigate his issues with not having the greatest stamina, you know, cutting weight. He's probably doing all the right things to improve it, but I feel like his frame is just not designed to really have a high tempo 12 round kind of just high pressure boxing match. And I think Usyk's gonna fucking stop him, not knock him out, but I think.
Well, I should say that the odds are now 8-1 for Usyk to win by stoppage. So Usyk by stoppage 8-1, and I just want to thank.
Those odds, bro, because I looked on.
Hold on, Chris. I just need to. Sorry, Steven. I need to read this super chat. Chris K, thank you for your contribution. He says, tall and stiff. That's what she said. I get the feeling anything might happen in this fight, and all our educated speculation might mean nothing. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
It might not. We might.
Well, let's see the fight. One of us is going to be right.
I mean, it could definitely be an early KO for AJ. I mean,
right?
Yeah, but
I might look like
if it relies on skill, I think our predictions are pretty spot on. Maybe not the end outcome, but we pretty much covered all bases for how either fighter is going to win their fight. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know some people were talking about Usyk knocking AJ out or stopping him. That's risky, man.
Yeah,
To
quit or
even
ref.
to even go in there and
Yeah,
try to
quit
do
or
that.
referee stoppage. It's going to be a quit or a referee stoppage for me. It's my prediction.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
How do you think he can go to the body, though? Like, what sort of punches? I think he should only
he's gonna have
really
to
rely on maybe the straights and the jab, the straight left and the jab, because, going inside,
Yep.
AJ's going to want you to do that so that he can offload some hooks, some big hooks.
I knew you
Wherever
were
it
gonna say
lands, it
that.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I knew you were going to
AJ's going to be standing in the middle of that ring for the first 3 rounds, like Tio was when Loma was circling him. Like he's just going to be standing there. He's going to look like Danny Garcia. He's going to look like if he's not going to chase after Usyk, he'd be a fool to fucking try to do that. But Usyk's going to have to score. Well, I'm assuming Usyk's going to try to win a decision. I'm saying most likely. I can if he doesn't hurt Usyk and win those rounds, Usyk's going to outland him in the fight. No doubt about that. That would be easy for Usyk, I think, to outland him, and look good doing it. But I just think AJ is going to be able to catch up to him and land enough hard shots, maybe even a knockdown, but some hard shots to win a decision. If there was any fuckery going on, I put $200 on the draw today because the draw was. My brother called me and said it was plus 2,600.
Damn, so
what the
so if
fuck?
you put 200 on that, if I do the math, so you'll get $4,000, right?
No, I'll get
because it's
5,200.
You get okay, so it's 1,200 more than I thought. Okay.
Yeah,
it depends
20
where you look,
plus
dude,
20.
because I go to MGM and like I don't know where I'm seeing these odds because I see people like 8-1 and this that and the... bro. Like,
Go to proboxingodds.com. Pro boxing odds.
No, where do you?
Yeah, it depends on the website. Yeah.
What do you bet though? Like, what do you guys use?
They use Bovada. These guys. They use. See, I don't even have that app. I bet with an actual bookie. His name's Kuhn. Shout out to Kuhn if you're listening. But
so you do it old school. Okay.
Yeah, old school. Yeah, but these bookies though, they're not going to take fucking crazy prop bets on these fights. They're not going to follow all this shit.
MGM, because I usually use MGM, Pete, and the best I can get is they won't even take. They'll do over under and they'll do who do you think's going to win, but they won't. They're not even fucking with like
props
KO or
props.
Anything. Yeah.
So I'm telling you, if you go to proboxingodds.com,
I'll check it out, bro.
It's a long. So it's set up like a spreadsheet kind of setup where along the top it's all the books, 5 Dimes, FanDuel, MGM, fucking Barclays.
MGM's only plus 240, I believe, at the moment.
I know. Listen to me though. They got all the books on the top, and then all the props going down if they offer them, and then all the odds laid out there so you can bet. If 5 Dimes is given plus 2,600, everybody else is given plus 1,700. It's a spread like that. You can see exactly who's given the odds that you want on the props.
I think not out of the question because we've been seeing this in the past couple of years. A lot of big fights when you have an A side that maybe it lost the fight, they'll be like, God, we can't give it to we can't give it to them, but fucking draw,
It sucks to have to think about like fuckery going on with the judges, and I never should have started talking like that. I did a few fights ago, and I was like, but if I had on this
the
fight,
truth, man. It
is the truth. Yeah, it's the truth. But I mean, I can't sit here and say I think AJ is this and Usyk is that, and here's their game plans. But I can't say Usyk has to think he needs a knockout or he's going to get robbed because Usyk can't fucking go into a fight like that. He can't let that affect him. Fuck that. You have to fight his fight.
I think I might drop 100 on a draw.
But when you got the same promoter, when you got Eddie Hearn here, what you see here with these in-house fights, I know Joshua might be technically the A side or whatever, but let's be real. Eddie Hearn's promoting both of these guys. This is like a Tio and a Loma thing. There's no favorites here as far as the promoter goes. The best thing the promoter can do, and it's fucked up, is a split draw. It doesn't hurt either guy. Neither guy gets a loss. Both guys are still undefeated. You can tell one judge go heavy for Usyk, one judge go heavy for AJ. Third judge scored down the middle.
How would that make sense though? AJ is the cash cow. He's the hometown hero.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, you
Pete,
can make a rival. You
but
can
how
make a
is
rivalry?
Yeah, but why would Eddie Hearn smoke Usyk? Why would he just waste Usyk? Just
let me say
sacrifice
this. Let me say
Usyk?
this.
foreigner.
First of all, Usyk's contract is up.
It's
You know that, right?
it's Tottenham they're talking about,
But
man.
LT, let me say
Tottenham.
this, bro. LT, Usyk's contract is
Salute
up,
to
right?
LT, man. Salute to
Usyk's
LT.
contract is up, bro.
Hey,
You know
man,
that, right?
shut up,
He's not
recognize,
with
shut up, bro.
Matchroom. He's not with Matchroom no more,
Fight
bro.
with Eddie?
He's not with Matchroom no more, bro.
He's with
So,
Matchroom for this
okay,
fight,
so
right?
Yes.
Bro, and let me say this. Eddie Hearn, that's his cash cow, his star, his biggest star in his old stable. So why would he why would he rob AJ? Come on, bro, that doesn't make no sense.
I didn't say to rob him. I didn't say to rob him. I
Well,
said
why would he
if there
be
was any
fair? I think
if there's
that's
any
the
fuckery,
right wording.
if there was any fuckery by the promoter, it would be a split draw. That's all I said. And the odds are, and it's a 50-50 fight in my opinion. And I'll tell you something else. That's for plus 2,600. I'm gonna throw a couple hundred at it. Let's do it.
Damn, 2,600. I thought it was.
I've never bet a draw. I don't think ever in my life. But I'll tell you something. My brother won that Wilder and Fury, the first fight. He put $100 on that draw and cashed out.
What was the odds on that again?
2,600.
Oh shit!
Dude,
That's
imagine if
funny.
he dropped 1,000 or something. And then
Pay off the car right there.
Yeah, I think I might. I think I might take that draw, man. I think I might take that draw, man. For real.
I mean, it's worth throwing $100 at, right?
Throw 100,
Yeah.
right? Throw $100. Fuck it.
Yeah, throw 100 on that, and you. What's the odds again? 26 to 1. Yeah, come on, man.
Why the fuck not, man? Shit.
Oh,
That's a vacation.
but
Juicy as fuck.
But about that fight, right? You guys think Usyk bolting or bulking? Do you think that's going to affect him at all, like positively or negatively, or it'll just be like a non-factor?
Yo, AJ probably has that like hyperspace
'Cause he's
master
swimming.
shit in him. Be surprised.
I think the weigh-ins it's going to be like 225 for Usyk and then like 240 for AJ. I think
probably gonna
it's
come out there and break
15
Dan.
pounds. Because last time I checked, Usyk was like 230, man, and AJ, you know, I think they posted in the Discord, dude, he's looking slim. Like, it's kind of stark just how much this dude can have a body transformation in between fights. So, I honestly don't know if there really will be like a big size difference besides like the height and reach, you know?
Somebody say something, man. Too much dead air.
Yeah, what's going on?
I made my point. I was waiting for somebody to respond, man.
What's going on, man?
Bro, I thought it was my Wi-Fi, bro. I was like, what the fuck happened on my Wi-Fi now, man?
I was just contemplating that last comment. I was thinking about that last comment. I was fucking mesmerized.
Fuck that shit. Let's talk about Devin Haney and how Lomachenko is docking him and all that shit. Nah, I'm joking.
Oh yeah, sure he is.
Scared.
Fuck.
Sure he is.
Scared of Devin.
Wait, okay, I got a question about how these sanctioning bodies work, right? So, if you have a mandatory, like the WBC, you know, if Devin Haney, right, if he enforced his mandatory, so I said, I want that fight, right, like, and they had to mandate it, couldn't you technically sort of like weasel yourself out of it if you fight another champion? Like, they'll allow that to happen? Or can you still?
What do you mean?
Are you forced to take the mandatory even if you want to do a unification fight? Like, do you have to do the mandatory first? I've heard different opinions about that, but I don't know.
These fucking sanctioning bodies got to go, man. These guys are like relics hanging.
Yeah, they do.
They're not even needed anymore.
It depends on
To
the
be honest.
fighter and how much clout and pull and drawing power they have. 'Cause
No,
you can-
like there's like
you
a
can- you
rule.
can make-
No,
you can
but
make
there's
it
a specific
mandatory
rule
disappear
though.
real quick for put it on the burner real quick. if you're Canelo.
Well, I get that, but there is like a real like rule about this stuff. I think for most of the sanctioning bodies, it's like if you fight a unification bout, you basically don't have to fight your mandatory. But like, so I don't understand why he couldn't keep his WBC belt and fight Tio since he's the IBF champ. Yeah, it's a bit confusing.
You ever notice in boxing, man,
I personally think
that they all got these rules, quote unquote, like because people are going, dude, there's no fucking, what the fuck is going on here? What's the program here? They all make these rules. They'll make you a rule book 50 pages long, and then there's always a clause, a catch-all clause at the end, where the commission,
it voids
the
the whole
sanctioning body
thing.
board, which is, you know, Mauricio Suleiman and like two of his cousins, can meet and decide, can overrule all the rule books. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Just
yeah, it's
retroactively change the rules of even.
so yeah. At the end of the day, it's whatever they want to do. At the end of the fucking day, that's what it is. It's what they want to do. And that's, you know, just think about it, man. They put all these rules in there, and it's always.
I mean, I get that, but I'm saying like, does anybody know like what it should be? Like, if that's allowed, like, can you weasel yourself out of a mandatory fight through a unification fight? I think it's yes, but I don't know.
Yeah, you always can.
If it's
right? Aren't unifications always more important than mandatories?
That's what I'm asking. I think it's yes, but like,
historically,
I don't know why he didn't keep the WBC belt if he's fighting Tio. Like, I get maybe the politics. That's probably why, because it's an in-house fight with Tio, and Haney was with, you know, Heyman and whatnot, or whoever he's with. So
yeah, Tio needs to stop being a Jew and just get this fight over with, and you know, man up.
It's been postponed almost a year. Like, this is insanity.
Dragging on for a year almost, dude. You know,
like, this kid's killing his own career.
There's nothing wrong with trying to get, you know, the most money you can out of your fight, but clearly there's been some really business-wise,
get the fuck out of the way.
You know, some shady shit from Triller and this, that, and he's been getting dicked around and the venues.
Yeah.
And you don't even know if this fight's still gonna happen. I know it's been postponed for like the 20th time. I mean, you don't even. At some point, you need to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Call Bob. Be like, hey, Bob, ain't my bad. I'm sorry for dicking you, but can I get that $2 million?
He did that the night of the Nakatani fight. He actually did
Yeah,
that.
Bob just goes lower now, right? Right, Pete? I mean, now he's got the leverage.
Yeah, Bob's like, it was 2, now it's 1.
Yeah, now it's 1.8. Yeah.
He extended his deal with Top Rank to the same terms that he had before. He's going to fuck around with Triller. He's going to get, you know, basically came crawling back. And I, you know, Bob wasn't even treating it like that. It's just business, but I'm doing this shit for 40 years. These people just came in here yesterday. They shot off a huge number. They didn't pay anything yet. They shot off a huge number, bid.
Just put the deposit, that's it.
Right?
Yeah.
And the only thing they needed to do that was to pay the sanctioning fee up front. So they paid the sanctioning fee up front. And the IBF, now they're all just circle jerking each other for the last year.
Well, they won the first bid, so they paid $700,000, which is 10% of $7 billion or whatever. So
yeah, but I tell you what, when you come in 3x or 2x the second highest bid, when you fucking overshoot like that, for whatever reason, I don't know, on purpose, by accident, fucking hit the wrong key on the, you wrote the wrong thing on the fucking paper, who knows? That's not a win. That's not a winning fucking bid. You're shitting yourself at that point. Holy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck?
I think it's a money laundering thing, and I think it's a whole like Ponzi money laundering thing. Or
I think they just in over their heads. Yeah. You know, they're trying to go public.
Yeah, I know.
They're trying to get financed to go, and they don't want to fucking show a $6 million a fucking loss by paying out $6 million and probably taking it up the ass for $3 million if they had tried to do it on a Monday night in Madison Square Garden.
About a lot of things in my life, but the last thing I ever thought about was buying a plane ticket to New York to watch that fucking fight.
Dude, I would. I love boxing. I mean, but yeah, the fact is sometimes you can overprice somebody just to get them on your roster. Like, you pay them You pay him a little bit. It's what your operating expenses. You do that. Now you have Tio, but now you got to start to break even in the rest of your fights, and they all have to come down. But obviously, this company doesn't operate like that, and it was sort of a Ponzi scheme like deal.
Well, if they had so much
wait a
money
minute
and
now.
they had the
Hold on,
power
guys.
and
Hold
they
on,
could
hold on.
flex, then it would have happened already. But now all of a sudden they're
They
getting
haven't
told
taken any losses yet. All they're out is this 15% of their purse bid. They paid the sanctioning fee and that's it. Like that's all you need to get in the door. They bid $6 million for this purse for both fight, for the total purse. But they have not transacted yet. They have you don't get paid until you fucking fight, and you don't fight until you get paid. And so, but the IBF's got their. The IBF will strip anybody for anything. They're supposed to be like the ones that don't take any shit off anybody, right? They'll strip you. If you duck a mandatory, they'll strip you. They've been on the tip for a year with this bullshit because they're sitting on 15% of that purse, hoping that these two idiots can make it happen.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, it always could be something like unearned revenue, but yeah, if they don't, they eventually would have to fight, which it doesn't seem like it's gonna fucking happen.
That's what I'm saying. They had a date in Miami. They canceled the date and moved it back. Then T.O. got COVID. Then they're talking about Madison Square Garden when they're still in a lockdown. They're not even having fights in Madison Square Garden. Then they're talking about going to Australia. Now they're talking about doing it on a Wednesday afternoon at 1 PM. Whatever. Just wrap it up, man. Wrap it up and let's go.
It's all shady.
Hey, what's good, everyone? I want to say fuck Teofimo Lopez. How about that? Fuck Teofimo and fuck this shitty ass fight. No one wants to see him fight Kambosos, okay? No one.
Good, you're not gonna see it. You're not even gonna see it.
I didn't know who was bro. I didn't know who was Kambosos until like last week or so, bro.
I actually saw his last fight, and to be honest, it was bad. I was gonna say it was bad. It was boring. It was both, man. Like,
really?
He's not the worst fighter.
LB fight? I kind of like that. I kind of was alright with that.
Yeah, so did I. That was alright.
I lied, man. I knew he was sparring Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, that's what I knew him for, being a sparring partner. Since when did sparring partners get to challenge for undisputed championships? Or quote-unquote undisputed, because we know he's not really undisputed.
Kambosos was okay work between coming off a big fight with Lomachenko, a pound-for-pound guy, but he dragged it on to try and get an extra $1, and now it turned into something that it isn't, which is a big fight. Because what happens, if you're fight. All right, if you're going to build something for a year, you're not going to fight a guy for a year. At the end of that year, it better be a good fucking opponent, and it ain't.
Yeah.
Bro, I want to see that Loma run back. I want to see that rematch.
I'd rather see the night of the fight.
Me too, yeah.
We went online, and I was like, man, let's see that. Let's get that back, man.
Bro, that rematch was looking very juicy, bro. After he fucked up Nakatani that way, I was like, yeah, I want to see it. I do want to see it. I was like, yeah, let me see it. Run it back.
But check it out,
at first I was like, you
know
what?
He wanted to touch the belts, bro. He was leaving 135 as soon as the fight was over with. He didn't want to hang out. He didn't want to hang out take pictures with the belts. This motherfucker's like scared. It's like doing a transaction with a guy who's like looking at the door the whole time. Like,
yeah, he's not going to make 140 or 135. We'll never make that. So he could have just been prolonging this out, which it still would have made no sense, but they could have just been looking long, but he still would have lost a shitload of money. He just should have ran it back.
But he's going to make 135 though. What?
Like 2 years?
In a month from now, and fight and doing this on the undercard of some YouTuber fight. Get out of here.
Tio just has a steak that's swinging in front of him, and he's salivating at the mouth, and it's a big juicy
That's
steak.
Correct.
And that's
correct.
And he's just been putting shit off, putting it up, and he's been rolling with all the bullshit, and he's been getting dicked around. And
dude, he has.
And dipping around. The sanctioning body too. The sanctioning body too, by the way. They're doing the same thing. They're drooling at that fucking purse bid. They're drooling at their sanctioning fee that's already in escrow now. So it's like, they don't want to strip them now. Do your job and set a deadline for the fight. You know what I mean? Like, make this shit happen. I don't want to hear any more cancellations.
Dude, Yeah, why did they delay this one? I mean, there was no reason why they should delay it. It's not like one of them, was injured or has some sort of sickness. Why did they delay this one, dude?
You know what the irony is?
Because
What
they
if
ain't got the
I've
fucking
seen
money, man.
L Dog was just saying, I don't know. I watched his last fight.
They moved it to the 16th. Wait a second,
Or
you
they
guys talking about?
or they don't want to spend the money. Or,
Yeah.
Hey, the fight's in the 16th.
Yeah.
16th.
How many times? How many times you chase a bitch around
Yeah,
the
December,
bar?
right?
And she's telling you all kinds of. You ever see one of your buddies just chasing a bitch around for like 2 weeks? It's like, dude, fucking leave her
Wait a
alone.
second, didn't that say like June something? Yeah. Why is it saying October 4th? I don't know. Then you come back and no.
Oh, did you guys check recently? It's December, fucking 30th or something.
I thought it was December.
Wait. So it's not the 9th anymore?
I'm joking. It's the 16th now.
Yeah.
So it's not October 9th? So it's not on a Monday.
No,
It's
it's on a
October
Saturday. It's the week after.
Wait, it
Wilder
will be a
and
Monday, right?
No. They
was.
realized that was Eldo. They realized that was a bad idea.
Oh wow! I mean, I never would have guessed.
What the fuck is going on
What
with
sporting
Thriller,
events
man?
are on like a fucking Monday
Like-
night, dude?
Bro, like, how can you fuck up a boxing date? Like, are they just like throwing darts at a fucking calendar or what? Like, let's see what it lands on. All right, it's a Sunday at 3 p.m. Like, what the fuck?
They don't,
Honestly, that's
they
really
don't,
what it
they do
seems
not want
like.
to have that fight for that purse. They do not want to pay the purse. They fucked up and overbid. It's a sealed bid, guys, right? So it wasn't like an open outcry thing where Aram's bidding this and then Hearn's coming over the top of him and then you're yelling out over the top. It's a sealed bid. And that's how construction projects are bid. So you don't know what the other guy's, there's no way to know what the other guy's bidding. You want to come in $1 less, or in this case, you want to come in $1 more than Eddie Hearn.
Same thing.
In a perfect world, you beat him by $1.
Pete knows what
But
he's talking
when you
And they
open those
just went
bids up,
all
you
in.
realize that you bid fucking 2x the next highest bid. You fucking shit yourself and go, holy shit! What do these guys know that I don't know? Because these guys, Aram wanted it, Tio wanted. Hearn wanted it, and they both put their best number forward. Any more, they're not going to make any money. So it's like,
Did the bid go like this, Pete? So somebody said, "All right, $1 million," and then Triller was up and they said $6 million. Is that what happened?
They doubled it, actually. They doubled Hearns.
It went like this. It went like this. Can you hear
Hearns
this?
fucking,
Listen to this. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, hang on. You get that paper? You get that envelope open?
Yeah.
It went like this. And the next bid from Triller is, let's see here, $6 million. Imagine hearing that. I mean, you got guys in the business 40 fucking years. Who bid? One of them bid one of them bid $2 million, and the other one bid $3.5 million, and then you realize that you bid $6 million. Congratulations, you're the winner. Oh fuck!
And you're the winner.
Yeah.
Hey,
So now,
hold on, bro. It's because they must be really scared, man. Bro, they must be really scared, man. I heard that what's this? The Holyfield versus whatever his name is, like only generated $6 million, and they paid right, and they paid Holyfield $5 million straight front, like. So
think about it.
They must be really fucking scared. Like, okay, what the fuck do we do now?
Dude, pay-per-view numbers are down all across the board, man. Like, look at Pacquiao's fight. Look at Jake Paul's fight. He did less than 300,000, man. Like, and that's supposed to be.
I'm glad it did, man. I'm glad it did.
Casuals, the YouTube crowd, like that's a whole bunch of different crowds. Even if you don't think like the hardcore fans don't like it, like most fans obviously won't buy it, but it's multiple different crowds. You got some MMA fans will buy it, a lot of the YouTube fans will buy it, some boxing fans will buy it. I mean, only 300,000. That's
how about this, fellas? I got a quote from Teofimo Lopez Sr. just the other day. When asked about the Loma rematch, he said, "Do they think we're fucking dumb? Who would risk everything for nothing in return?"
Well,
So
Officially,
Bob,
so they admitting.
a shitload of money.
So they admitting.
I mean,
He admitted
this doesn't
he's
make any
fucking
sense.
scared. He's like, what, you think we're fucking stupid?
Hold on, but Pete was right. How they bidded
Dude, he's
for
the
that
gift.
makes
He's
no
the
sense.
gift.
And the truth comes out.
He's the
Just-
gift that keeps giving, bro. Just let him speak. That's all you gotta do. Let him speak, and you'll hear him reveal everything.
Right,
Come
he
on,
tells you
Pelican.
shit that you don't even want to know, man. I swear to God, he does, bro.
Hey,
Like
I'm-
bro, I swear to God, like one day he bitched on himself that he was high as fuck doing cocaine, or I must have heard that shit.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this, dude. Give him a couple lines, give him a couple beers, and the truth will come out, man. That motherfucker. You might have to sit there for like 2 or 3 hours while he goes on a fucking rant, but eventually the truth will come out, man. But he just said, like, when someone said, "Do you want to rematch Loma?" He said, "What? Do you think we're fucking stupid?" Like, he literally is just.
You know what? The guy's got no authority. He's got really nothing to do with it. Honest to God, he's just a sports dad. He's just a sports dad, a crazy sports dad who's been with his kid doing this since he was 10 years old. He's got nothing to do with it. This is his manager. This is McCorder. Nothing against any of these guys, but this is his manager going for something, coming back, tailing between their legs, extending. I know Tio Senior. He had aviator sunglasses on and a fucking sport jacket on, a t-shirt. Like, you ever notice the way Bob Arum grins when he's talking about this shit? Like when they bid $6 million, do you ever see the grin on his face? Like, great, that sounds great to me, man. $6 million. I wish him the best. God bless
He's
him.
rubbing his hands together.
Wait,
man.
hold on
Come
a
now.
second. Bob Arum and the $6 million.
Yeah, he's rubbing his hands together, thinking about it.
Yeah.
I know you guys haven't forgot, but I know I sure as fuck haven't, because L Dog just told me what he said recently, because I remember in the not too distant past on live television on ESPN after Loma fucked up Nakatani, and he was on live television with Arum, and they were both rubbing each other's cocks, and then Senior said, what did Senior say? Remember that?
I'll have to convince my son. I'll have to convince.
I wasn't even thinking about Lomachenko before, but honestly, after seeing tonight, I could talk my son into making that fight. You're a real man, Tiafimo.
You're a real man. Hey man, my son, he's gonna knock Lomachenko out again,
They
man.
shook on it too.
I'm gonna convince him to take the fight this time. He gotta knock him out. I told everybody. Shout out to Al Sasson.
Shitface and skied up with aviator sunglasses on. That's right, on ESPN. And Arum's looking at him like with a grin, like you
stupid motherfucker.
Extended the contract with me yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I offered for the same exact shit that I offered you a year ago, you idiot. But you know what? It's like,
hey, Lopez Senior, he'd be saying stupid shit. He'd be like, "I slept with my son till he was 16, man. You don't think I can convince him to take this fight?"
He slept in my bed. Don't you dare say that we got.
What did you say? What? What was that last thing, L-Dog? What does that mean?
What does what mean?
Did you say he said I slept with him since he's 10 years old?
That's what he said.
What his dad said. Some weird ass shit. But
slept
see,
in my bed till he was 14 or some shit like that.
but if they were smart, they had Bob Arum. This guy is known for making boxers wealthy. I mean, he might be a little cheap, you know, he might get swindled once in a while, but they had the Bob man. They had the Bob father. They could have made all the money they fucking wanted to and just did what Bob told them and went with this fucking third ass party, and they fucking it's like getting back. You gotta be a little. I don't know, man. It's fucking.
By the way, Bob
he got the right to go to first bid.
By the way, Bob's getting a cut of that.
Arum would have been pissed if Hearn had won the bid. And I don't even mean pissed enough to like do anything with Tiafimo. He would have been fucking super pissed if Hearn had come in and outbid him, which he did. If he had won that fight, he'd have been fucking pissed.
He did
but
outbid him. up
I
to
know he
1.
outbid him, but they didn't win the bid though.
No, they didn't
So
win the bid.
when Triller came in with $6 million, like a fucking like Bob Arum was laughing at these people, going, "Where the fuck are they gonna find $6 million?" And this kid re-upped with me. He re-upped with me after the Nakatani fight. So now they're gonna have to pay him $6 million and guarantee that he fights for me after he's done with them. It's never gonna happen. So he's grinning. He gets his cut, right? Bob Arum would have made like 800 grand or something. He still gets 25% of Teofimo's purse.
For doing nothing.
So she's like, yeah, wish him the best. $6 million sounds great. That's great. And meanwhile, he's thinking they have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
It's a mess.
Thank God Hearn didn't win that. So he's grinning the whole time, all the way up until he's looking at Tio Senior with his aviator shades on, shades at
Say
night.
what you want about
Bob does have that grin on too, man.
say what
That's
you
how
want
you
about
look at somebody
Hearn.
that's in over their head.
If Hearn ultimately won, like if Triller didn't exist and Hearn won the bid by the 300,000 or 500 or whatever it was, that fight would have already happened if Hearn won it. But I'll say that much
Dude,
about it.
these idiots
Yeah,
at
but
Triller
Hearn-
probably thought like, oh well, Floyd Mayweather gets paid like 100 million, so 6 million's a bargain. Like, yeah, let's just throw this down on a fight.
That makes sense,
Like,
right?
Nah, they
did
don't
you
think
see
like
what the
that.
initial
They're
ticket?
Remember when they were talking Metallica? They were talking about Metallica
That would have been
the same night. And I'm going, holy shit! Who the fuck are these people, man? Triller's. Oh,
Did
I
you
mean,
see
listen.
what the initial tickets were like going for? The cheapest ones in a stadium of like 20,000 people were $400 and the most expensive were up to like $20,000.
Are you fucking kidding
In the
me?
Marlin Stadium?
What?
In Marlin
Yeah.
Stadium? Yeah. Look, I would have gone to that. I'm going. Look, man. At first, before I looked into these people, for all I knew, there were these people like when Triple G used to go fight in Monte Carlo in front of like 20 guys in tuxedos and shit. I mean, maybe some of these guys got cash that they just want to see a fight. Who the fuck knows? But then when I put two and two together, it's the same people that put the Tyson and Jones fight on, which actually did okay. Then when I realized what the background of these people were and what they were trying to do in terms of like trying to go public, I'm saying, holy shit, they're never going to have this fight. They're never going to actually cut that check because they're trying to take that company public in terms of, here's my books. Let's just say they lose $2 million on that fight. They'll probably lose more. But why would they put that on their books right before they're trying to go public? It's just like, it's not going to happen. They just fucked up and overbid. Excuse me.
Yeah, man. They put
Hey,
this.
listen, shit happens.
man.
Shit happens, but you gotta fucking move on.
It. Shit happens. They stepped in it.
Shut it down and move it on. Like we can't keep standing around looking at each other. It's not gonna happen.
And all the time, just Bob, good old Bob, is just smiling at them.
Dude, I pray to God that I pray to God that if he doesn't fight Loma in a rematch next, that he fights Josh Taylor. I pray that fight fucking happens, man. Because look, Loma I think could beat Tio, but I think Tio has a better chance against Loma. I think Taylor would really put a hurting on him.
I think Taylor will beat him for sure.
You see how he's doing?
I think Taylor would hurt him like badly.
Probably would.
So even leading up to that Lomachenko fight, he's talking about he's already got a foot out the door before he's even done with that fight. I'm moving up anyway. This is my last fight at 35. Then they start talking about the rematch. I'm moving up. Then he gets his purse bid. He'll make any weight for the right money. He's just full of shit. He wants to have a Canelo weight, but for 140. He wants to fight at 136. That's what he wants to do.
Let's
He wants
fight
to reign supreme.
137 and a half.
Yeah, he wants to reign supreme like Canelo did at 155. Drag all the middleweights down and not have to deal with any of the.
Right now, on 155, Canelo at 155, Canelo had the greatest knockout.
He was undisputed. Lineal, Ring Magazine. He was the GOAT at 155. Unbelievable.
I don't know. I thought Ring Magazine lost a lot of credibility when they started putting motherfuckers like who's that tall lanky ass that 168 guy, the white nerd.
fighter.
Oh, what was his name? Not Rocky Fulton. No, the other guy. Lee.
Callum Smith.
Callum Smith. Thank you, Callum Smith. I mean, he was the guy, right? Like, he was like, oh man, look, Canelo's gonna have the toughest fight. Look at his size. He's Ring Magazine. Blah blah blah. This that the other thing. Fucking went in there and just beat him up like a nerd. But then again, none of us thought he was ever had a chance, but a lot of people did. Remember? I mean, there was a lot of people thinking that Callum was like gonna have a shot. And he's gonna be a tough
Callum Smith looks a little strung out at 68. He's just too tall. Maybe at 75 he would do better.
Didn't knock him out though. Just kept fucking throwing shots.
Oh, he went the distance
at his bicep.
He knocked out his bicep though.
Good job. You destroyer. Let's get Benavidez in there, boys. Come on, how about it? Can I get Benavidez? No. He's on coke. He can't control his weight. Well, knock him out then.
To be fair, though,
We're just gonna act like we're gonna act like the guy doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people were relieved when he did, screw up outside of his personal life, and they were like, "Oh shit, he lost the belt." Oh man, that's awesome. I don't even rate Benavidez that highly, but I'll tell you what, he's better than any of these fucking. He's better than any of these guys that Canelo's been fighting at 168 by far, in my opinion.
You just said it. That's all it needs to be said right there. I don't care if you get all the belts. I don't care if you go undisputed. If you don't beat the second best guy in the division, if you do it without fighting him, then fucking I don't give a shit if you're undisputed. I'm being honest. I'm not no disrespect to the belts or to like hardcore people that follow that undisputed lineal shit. If you show up with 4 belts and you did not fight arguably the second best guy in the division, if there's a guy that's better than every one of those guys that you fought, then fuck your 4 belts. In my opinion.
Benavidez, I'd shut up. I wouldn't be like, breaking his balls, if he fought Benavidez or he fought Beterbiev or he fought Bivol without rehydration clauses. I'd be like, hey, shut my hating ass up, But he's not doing it. He's doing that whole he took that Mayweather fucking instruction manual and he read that shit like a Ranger handbook.
Bro, I can't say that, man, because he's going after undisputed.
Hey, I've said this many times. This is my quote, man. People talk about titles and belts and unifications, man. They should shampoo my dog's crotch because they don't mean shit.
I mean, you should have told that to Lomachenko when he went to fight Luke Campbell instead of fighting a Devin Haney, a Teofimo Lopez, or one of those guys.
Like, that's a good point. You could say that. I mean, factually, you can make that argument, but at the same time,
if someone's fighting a champion, bro, I don't see why you should criticize them.
If you have a guy that's not a champion that everyone knows is a better fighter and a better sell and something that you'll get more credit for, and it's not a mandatory, like if you don't have to fight the guy, but you voluntarily fight a guy that everyone knows is tougher, why would you would get more credit, right? It's like a guy that got a vacant belt. Whoop the fucking do, or a guy.
So where was Lomachenko's criticism when he fought Luke Campbell instead of fighting a Richard Comey, a Teofimo Lopez, hell, a Ryan Garcia, a Devin Haney? Where was his criticism when he didn't fight one of them? He went after the titles, bro. That's what he did.
He didn't go undisputed though. L-Dog, here's what I'm saying to you. I agree with you, L-Dog, and I agree with both of you, but I want to make something clear, L-Dog. The undisputed, the credit you get for that, that's predicated upon you are the best of the top 4 in the division. There's 4 belts. There's, in a perfect world, that thing is each one of these champions fights until there's only one left. So you got 4 sanctioning bodies, 4 belts. At the end of it, it's the top 4 in the division, and at the end, we're going to find out who's the best. But when you wind up with all 4 belts, and the guys that you beat to do it were not the best 4 people in the division, well, then that's got to take something away from it, right? That's different. That's different than cleaning out the division.
Bro,
You know what I'm
those
saying?
guys should have got a
Benavidez
title,
is
man.
not one of those names.
Those guys should have got a title.
Well, so I can't say that the sanctioning bodies. I don't give a shit about them because at the end of the day, they got to catch all. They do whatever they want. All these rules, all these rule books, committees, petitioning. It's one or two guys making their decisions based upon what's best for them financially. So I can't say that in one breath and then in the next breath say just because you wind up with all four of their belts. Fuck, they could set it up to where you fight the worst guys in the fucking division. I mean, they can make it happen to where you get it.
To be fair, these guys are holding the belts hostage, man. Guys like Andrade, guys like fucking Charlo, guys like fucking I can't even think like dude Colin Smith, Billy Joe. Those guys haven't done shit because they're holding their belt hostage, looking for a payday, man.
I don't need to see
To address Eldar,
the belts.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. My bad.
Just to hop back or stay on the Haney the Haney Lomachenko thing. Do not be surprised if Loma cannot get Lopez. I would not be surprised at all if he does take that Haney fight, because it's the same thing with Lopez. He was talking all that shit, talking shit, and he got fed up with it. And I think Haney's been talking a bunch of shit, and he might be like, you know what, I'm gonna do you the same way I did Lopez, even though he lost the Lopez fight. Arguably,
He might do that.
you know
You're
what I
right,
mean?
Steven.
I could see, because that's in his character, right? So I'm not gonna go ahead now. If Lomachenko, which I don't think he will do, but let's say Lomachenko goes on and fights a bunch of people we don't want to see him fight, like Comey or some other shit like that, then
That's what he's doing, bro. He's gonna fight Comey next.
Well,
It's
we'll see.
official.
We'll see. That's got a date and that's official. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
Loma put it up on his page.
So that's official. That's happening.
Yeah, that's gonna happen next.
I don't like that fight. I don't want
Well,
to see that fight.
Haney must have tried to get out of the Loma fight. I mean, then
Loma
Haney
didn't
doesn't
offer
want
him
to
a
fight
fight,
him.
bro.
Huh?
Loma didn't offer him a fight. He should have called him out.
I'm
I can't
sure
just blame.
the champion
I
has
can't
to
blame.
send him a contract.
I can't blame Devin Haney, man. At the end of the day, if you're a man, you got to take matters into your own hands.
Did he send Loma a contract?
Listen, if you're a man, you take shit into your own hands, all right? If you're Loma, after you beat Nakatani, you call out two people, Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. Now, if they both if they both reject you, fine, you go fight Comey. You don't just fight Comey and say, "Oh, well, he never offered me anything." It's like, dude, you call him out.
Well, yeah, I
Bro,
don't know.
you call them out, and
I don't
bro,
know if he wants contract.
bro.
Authority, though, guys.
So what
Guys,
you do is you
unfortunately,
call them out,
nobody
and
that's
then if
here.
so you
Go
call
ahead.
them out, so you call them out, and if they don't want to fight you, call them pussies in all the interviews, and you tell everyone they ducked you. That's what you do.
Go ahead, Pete. What were you gonna say?
Hang on.
But yeah, I'm not a fan of that Comey fight. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a solid fight, but I don't think it's the fight that anybody really wants to see. Not me, anyway.
Plenty of people want to see that.
I'm down to kick, just for kicks and giggles. I'm down.
I don't really want to see that. I want to see if Loma.
I want to see Lomachenko active, bro. That's the thing. I'm down to see it.
I want to see if Haney would have accepted the contract if Loma sent him one that was perfectly market value based. Well, we don't know if he might have, and Haney might have declined. A lot of this shit's behind closed doors. We don't know. I don't know.
We can't just base it off of what we don't know until we see evidence. Until we see evidence, we got to assume that nothing happened, man. Look, the thing with the Comey fight is I wouldn't say a lot of people want to see it, man. Comey's just Nakatani, but less durable and more powerful. That's all he is, really.
I mean, Comey was dangerous. Everyone was talking about how good of a Comey was, right? And then he gets blitzed, right? He gets caught early, and then now he's just this trash motherfucker. And I don't buy that either. He's still a good fighter, and it's still a decent fight, and he's still bigger than Loma, and Loma's still above his weight and all that. And I I don't think he should get too much criticism for it. But at the same
But
time,
but he can't
would I want to
outdo.
see Haney? Yeah, of course, I'd rather see Haney, and I think I'd rather see that fight. Of course, I would.
Yeah,
Comey's no pushover.
He's not a bum. Shit.
But he can't outdo what Tio did that to what's his name, Comey. So it's kind of pointless. I mean, what's he gonna do? Knock him out in the first 30 seconds? Like I don't see that.
Yeah,
Like,
I think,
Well, Tio,
go ahead, dude.
go ahead. Yeah.
go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Jackson. I think it was Jackson, right?
Okay, I was saying, yeah. How's Loma?
I
Even if he gets a 4th round knockout, how's it gonna look better than what Tio did? So marketing wise, it's a bad move, and it's just gonna undervalue.
Jackson.
Go ahead.
Jackson. Comey got caught cold. Shit happens.
Yeah, you're right.
Comey got caught cold. Shit happens. You don't have to necessarily look at it like that. I mean, he could knock him out late, the 8th, 4th round, like you were saying. That shouldn't impact. As long as he has a dominant performance. I mean, yeah, obviously he's not gonna knock him out probably quicker than what Teofimo, because he caught him cold. Caught him with a good punch.
Yep.
Yeah.
But maybe he's not interested in the Haney fight because there's too much politics going on there.
Well, listen, that's right. That's kind of right. In other words, Haney right now is kind of needs to make a decision on what he wants to do. That was his last fight. That was his last contract fight with DAZN. Now, if he's going to fight pay-per-views from here on out and not be exclusively on DAZN and re-up with them, I think he's going to wind up just re-upping with DAZN. But if he doesn't want to do that and he wants to fight pay-per-view, then you might see that fight happen with Lomachenko.
Right.
But as long as he's fighting on DAZN and Lomachenko is fighting on top rank with
too much
ESPN
politics,
being the main,
he just wants to get a fight. He just wants to get a fight in.
You talking about Loma?
Yeah, I'm talking about Loma. Loma just wants to.
Yeah, Loma, and I'm not even trying to play favorites, but Loma's playing it exactly how you do it, which is get a fucking promoter, sign a contract for a multi-fight deal, get a manager to handle all this shit. All right, let him negotiate the fucking purse. Let him figure it out, matchmaking, and then just fight as often as you can. Fight fucking 3 times a year. You'll stay on weight. You won't fucking go off the rails. You won't get restless. You won't.
Maybe he looks at Canelo's fighting all these fights in a short period of time, and he's like, "Man, that's what I need to fucking be doing."
You know, like Golovkin did when he first came on the scene.
Or something like that.
4 times a year. There was no middleweights. Yeah, granted, it was a bad time for the era, the whole 9 yards. But all you can ask of the guy is to sign a contract, and his job's to fight. So just stay on weight. 4 times a year is probably a big ask for these guys, but 3 times a year is not.
Yeah.
Set the fucking dates. And then you tell me who the opponent is. You don't give a shit. At the end of the day, problem with Haney and Tio and Haney's dad is that they don't have really much say so on the next fight. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, they hired people to take care of this.
That's true.
You know, they just keep sticking the mic in front of their face, and they ain't got no fight schedule, so they're just gonna talk some shit. You know, I mean, they're not like trying to hide it that much either, because Devin Haney's dad will come on these podcasts and whatnot, and he'll interact enough for you to read between the lines and see what's going on. He's just trying to make something happen. But at the end of the day, Hearn's got to be in charge of that. Because if you're going to fight on DAZN, you got to deal with Hearn. They're not trying to play games with a million different promoters.
Yep.
You know.
Nobody's pushing this Haney Loma fight and this. Let's look at people who have.
It's not a big fight. It's not a big fight.
It's not his decision. He's not a promoter.
Look at who's been putting. Look at the division. Look at the guys. Look at the guys that are coming up. Look at the guys that are established. Look at the guys who have put in work. Look at the guys who have fucking fought consistently. The best guys. Okay, why the fuck is Garcia getting this pass for fucking Haney? Those 2 motherfuckers should be fighting. Garcia and Haney should be fighting, bro.
Yeah, Garcia had mental issues or something. You know, that's the excuse.
So that's what I asked Haney when Haney came on. The only time I ever spoke to Haney's dad was when he came on the D. Jefferson charity thing, and I heard him talking about Haney Promotions and Haney Promotion, and he's a manager too. And I'm like, well, man, how do you find time for all this? Like, you're the promoter, and he didn't say anything. And I'm like, I'm just saying, like, you're not training anymore, right? I mean, you're bringing a trainer in to free yourself up. But I'm saying, like, you got any other fighters under Haney promotion? And it's
No.
like, no, we're looking for
No.
fighters.
Just Haney.
Hold on. I get it. We're looking for fighters, but the whole back argument between me, D. Jeff, and how do you call him? The kid from the UK that callers all the time, Rap Star. Well, our whole argument with D. Jeff was like, basically, I know it's Haney Promotions and all this, and I get it, but Bill Haney's not a promoter. He didn't have the contacts, he didn't have the knowledge to do it. He didn't have the fucking. Matchroom is the promoter, all right? So yeah, I understand they're in a partnership, but maybe for a cut of the purse. But I'm just saying. Like,
hey Pete, you think Haney Promotions has contacts with rings set up and contractors that come in and put up the lights in the ring, and they got venues in their back pocket, and they put all that shit together?
Fuck no.
Haney Promotions, my ass.
and during COVID, remember now, during COVID now,
Tax duck or some
that's
shit.
all the people think it is just signing a TV contract. That's all that was there was camera.
Haney
Right?
Promotions.
You're not
Okay,
talking about live events and site fees,
Oh, it is.
pay-per-views. It's just set up a camera in a room with a fake people on a tarp behind, right? So when you don't have to worry about all these connections and funding for all this, then you can be a fucking promoter. All I got to choose is either ESPN or DAZN. That's all I got to do is make that choice. But when it comes down to actually making it and doing a purse bid, you wind up like Triller.
Somebody tell me why this dude has his own promotion. Can they write
Because it gives him control. It gives him control over the details of the fight, the judges, he probably gets a little bit of a split. It gets his name out. He's not the only guy. There's K2. There's Triple G Promotions. There's Man Down Promotions. But let's be real, man. There's two promoters.
Roy Jones had one. Circle Square Promotion.
They all did. I get it. Okay, I get it. They're looking at Oscar and they're saying after I'm done fighting, I want to do something to sustain myself because I'll go broke if I don't do something after. So they're trying to put something for like Oscar kind of after he's done fighting, he could actually put his name on the front of a promotion. I get it. But at the end of the day,
Uncle Pete's promotion. You guys ever heard of
that? Promotion.
I want
So
to
the point
thank.
is though that
Yeah.
I asked him. I said, "So the fight to make over there is Garcia, right? It's on DAZN. You guys are both on DAZN. Like, what's up with that? I mean, that's the fight, right?" He's like, "I think so. We got our last fight coming up here. At the time, they were looking for Fortuna or for Linares, right?" And I said, "So after this fight, you can feel free to do a pay-per-view then, right?" And he goes, "Right." So you see what I'm saying? If you watch it, this is the way he said it. Now I don't know.
Did he say it right, like with a dollar sign on his eyes? Right. Teaching.
Yeah, he said like, "Now you're onto it, fat boy. Now you get it." But he's not even wanting to say it like that, right? And at the end of the day, he don't have much. At the end of the day, he's still not going to be a promoter. But he has to make the decision: stay on his own and no Lomachenko fight really, or go on his own and try to do what Canelo did. But I can't put a gun to their head and say that I want to see Haney and Loma.
I could. I'll do it.
I do want to see it. I'd love to see it, but I can't. I understand why I don't ask for it. I understand why I don't expect it. I'm not surprised. But the point is though that all you can do as a fighter, all I can ask either one of these guys, fucking fight 3 times a year, man, and let them set up your opponents.
Especially
Hey guys,
have
hold on. I'll just read the super chat here. TX Bulldog Boxing, thank you for your contribution. He says Haney's mandatories both need to man up. I don't know who they are, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I have more respect for Haney than I do for fucking Garcia. I think Haney is all about fighting who he says he wants to fight, but I think Garcia is more of a clout chaser, and I think Haney is more proven. I think that Linares, especially a sharp looking Linares with no fucking rehydration bullshit, he looked real good, and Haney looked real fucking good for 10 of the 12 rounds. So you put that against when Garcia was fighting Luke Campbell, who fucking almost knocked him the fuck out in the 3rd round or whatever, or 4th. I don't remember.
I think they're both bitches, man.
2nd round. Yeah, they are both.
No, they are. They are. They're both not about taking a pay cut to prove themselves, which makes them bitches. But what I'm saying is, I think Haney beats Garcia, and Garcia may know that that's a stylistic matchup that he doesn't want.
Yeah, they fought 6 times in the amateurs. Steven.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so they know who's gonna win. I think Devin Haney won 4 out of the. Yeah, so they know who's gonna win that. We'll keep him at the end of the jab, and Garcia won't get close. See the fight. See the biggest bitch of them all is fucking Tank Davis. See if he could get thrown in the mix, then they all could make some real good money. But they're also scared of losing to each other, so it's just it's a shit show.
You know the setup on DAZN's contract? You know what Haney said the setup was? A 5-fight deal. 5-fight deal with an escalating purse each fight that he defended the belt. That he defended he had to be a champion and
defend the belt, and every check gets every fight
incrementally
gets
steps
higher.
up, correct. Incrementally steps up. So he gets an amount of money, right? I'm gonna say Haney Promotions gets it, but whatever. Hearns gets a budget of I'm gonna get 5 fights. I'm just gonna throw some numbers out. I don't know what the numbers are, but let's just say it's a 4 million, 4.5 million, 5 million, 5.5, and 6, right? And you get that dollar amount, you got to put the card together. You got to hire your opponent. You see what I'm saying? So you got to pay your opponent out of that. DAZN's giving that money to Hearn. He got to find an opponent for Haney, but it's got to be defending that belt. So to me, that's why when he said that to me, I realized that's why he's not going to fight Garcia for his 5th fight. And that's why he's not going to that's why he's never fought him since then, because one of those two is going to lose a belt. One of those two is going to financially not be able to go on as well as they should have. But when I realized that his contract was up, and he might be like a free agent type of thing, which I think is stupid.
That makes sense now.
They want the big
Wow.
name. They want the big name guy, who is the smaller guy, right? Who probably has a bitter payday. And if they lose, they have the built-in excuse of, well, he just had experience.
They don't want to lose.
And that's why Garcia and motherfucking Haney ain't gonna fight. I think Haney.
Yeah,
wants
they're not going to double book them. They're not going to double book Garcia and Haney, and one of them lose their title if they had one. It's not going to happen. But there was only one fight left, and we got Will Norris. Now I don't know what Haney's going to do next. But if he tries to go like the Canelo route, where he just fights on a fight-to-fight basis, because his dad sure as hell. He's sure as hell busy doing a lot of legwork,
Yeah, but shit talking.
He's coherent enough.
He's the new Don King.
Well, he's coherent enough to call people up and find out who's who and like try to put something together. And sometimes you gotta to me it was like he was which he had no problem doing. He had kind of like was trying to do all the legwork and put it right underneath Hearn's nose. I'm trying to say, all right, hey, I got it all done. You don't gotta call anybody.
I get what you're
now,
saying.
come on now, let's do it.
I get what you're saying, Pete. But
they're liars, man. They're all liars.
I'm not a boxer.
Well, he never said anything
I'm
that I
not
took his
some,
shoot
guy,
for. I'm
but
reading between the lines.
I'm not a guy with tons of experience. I'm not some box promoter. I'm not in the biz or nothing like that. But I'll tell you, the best thing that any fighter can ever do, the general principles of it, is get the best guy you can within 6 months. Don't turn into a guy that's fighting once a year, especially when you're earlier in your career. Get the best guy you can, right, without overpaying him. If a motherfucker's trying to price himself out because he didn't want a loss, go to the next best guy. Go to the next
It's
best
not
guy.
even you. It's not even you. It's not even your job. You just train. It's just it's your promoter.
Well, Eddie
your
Hearns
promoter's
is
not trying to beat the
dangling,
shit out of you.
So
yeah, your promoter's not trying to fucking grind you up and spit you out. He's trying to have like a whole career with you. Like he's not trying to just to fucking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not trying to hand feed you and then throw you in to get demolished, and he's not trying to let you go in there and just walk into a firefight too early and get, that's just a part of moving a guy along. It does a promoter no good to think of it like that, right? He's got to think of like the next fight and the next fight and like the career of this thing.
Yep, that's the problem. Yeah,
and it's your
man.
manager's job to agree with that promoter, right? You just train and, like you just said, fight every 3 months. You got people handling it for you. Let them handle it.
You can.
Just fight
Yeah.
every 3 months. That's all you can do.
Yeah, like Steven, I wanted to say the problem is in boxing is these multi-fight contracts. Like when Pete said, you'll get more the next fight, and the next fight, it's like an options contract. It's like, because what if you lose a fight? Then your whole financial, tangible worth is fucking out the door. So it makes it corrupt within, by itself. So nobody's gonna want to lose a fight if if their contracts are written that way.
It's kind of like it's like everything in life. If you want to get to the top, you got to take risks, man. Now, not a lot of people will make it to the top because risks are risky. Like there's a good chance you won't make it, but if these guys, and I know they all idolize Floyd, if they want to be the next Floyd, they got to take risks.
Like opening your own
Floyd
business,
didn't
you
take
know what I
any
mean?
risk.
The business might fail, but it might take the fuck off. But you have to try. You have to see how it goes. You open a restaurant, people may not like your motherfucking food. Well, guess what? Your food might suck.
Hey, the best
Might
thing
have
you
to
can
take a
do
couple risks. Yeah, we know
do
this.
what Canelo did. Take
Yeah.
risks. Take risks while you're young, okay? If you lose, you can slow down on the risk taking, build up your record, and people will forget about it, man. Take risks while you're young, and you can.
It's how you lose and who you lose against. And
Because
Or
a lot,
take no risk.
Floyd took no risk.
I'll
And
put this. I'll put it to you this way.
Canelo was trying to do the same thing, and DAZN's not letting him. DAZN's playing it smart. They're going to give you a multi-fight deal, but look, we got the right to refuse your opponents.
Yeah.
So don't come in here with Josecito Lopez and fucking, Maidana twice. And come on, name the other ones. Who knows those fights that Floyd had with Showtime? You're not coming in here and fighting 10 fights. That bullshit.
Guerrero.
We're not fucking going for that shit. It's an evolution. So yeah, we'll give you 10-fight deal, 10 million a fight or 30 million a fight, whatever it was. But you're not walking up in here with. We'll give you Rocky Fielding to start, but you're not coming up in here with fucking you name it, yield drums and
Yeah, it's
Why
gotta be
not?
somebody.
Why not?
because why would they do that? It's a loss.
If you believe in yourself and you
The
think you can
numbers will eventually go down inevitably.
correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, but if you're a fighter and you go to your promoter and you go to your manager and it's like, hey, look, I know this is a tough fight. I know this is a real tough fight. I'm willing to take a cut because I know this guy wants a retarded amount of money, right? But I'll take a little cut here just because I believe in myself and I'm looking to the future. I'm not looking about the short game. I'm looking about the long game. And I think I'll win this. And after I win this motherfucker, then I can start being a diva. And that's kind of what happened with Tio. But what Tio did was he won one fight and he thought he could be a diva. That's not how it works. You can't win one big fight. You have to win a couple. But successively, you can request a little bit more. You can't go full Jew immediately. You know what I mean?
You gotta watch what you say, bro.
What
you don't
the
want to get the stream taken down.
What the fuck was that?
But
Come on, man.
BMTB
Jesus.
can say all that stuff, but he never gets. Oh, never mind. He has protection. Okay.
That shit catches me off guard. That's funny. The thing is, man, that's the whole multi-fight contract. That's the security of that contract. That's the security of it. It's 5 fights or whatever it is, 5 fights, and it's guaranteed $2.1 million. I'm just using Tio as an example, nothing against him. This is the general thing of it. Or you want to try to go off on your own and be bigger than the sport. Canelo fucked around and wasted all this time cutting out Golden Boy, right? Because he really didn't need him at this point. And instead of just leaving some money on the table for your partners and letting them do their job and letting they have the relationship with DAZN, now he's going to go off on his own. He's going to do his own thing. He's going to make his own promotion. He's going to be a free agent. And sure as shit, he's fighting on DAZN again. And now it's on a fight basis. So now if you don't have if you want to be your own guy, now you're literally just as good at renegotiating every fucking fight you take. That's no way to do it, man. That's just no way to do it.
Bro, the
Roy
Zone and
Jones
Golden
tried to
Boy
do that
wanted.
shit. Roy Jones
Bro,
tried to
the
do that
Zone and
shit.
the Zone and Golden Boy wanted fucking Canelo to fight the MMA fighter. What's his name, Mazava at one point, bro. None of those
Or
guys.
De La Hoya. Well, that whole thing was just Eddie snaking Canelo from Oscar, honestly.
They were talking about that shit, bro. They're saying they wanted him to fight some MMA fighters, Conor McGregor. It was all fucking stupid.
No. The Zone's just trying to set up cameras and say that they can. Boxing is like 1/10 of their business. You know what I mean? This is nothing compared to the other. Can you imagine? Listen, can you imagine the difference between negotiating and doing business with MLB baseball or the soccer league, whatever they're carrying? I can't remember. I'm not big into soccer, but
Yeah, they're
whatever
actually
they got.
going to get the Premier League, the
All
biggest
right.
one in the UK.
Premier League. So can you imagine those negotiations? MLS, and how those contracts play out compared to how this shit goes down with boxing.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, you've got like, on one hand, you've probably got like these mega billionaires who own football clubs and all the rights to that shit. On the other hand, you've got like fucking Devin Haney walking in with his iced out chain, just like, yo, what's up?
You start off dealing with some promoters, right? I'll deal with Golden Boy and Canelo and all of Golden Boy's fighters. I'll deal with Hearn and his fighters. I'll deal with
Top Rank.
Whoever, not Top Rank. DAZN is going to deal with Golden Boy, Hearn with Matchroom, and I'll deal with whoever Triple G's promoter was at the time, or whoever it is, Kathy Duva, or whoever that is, K2. All right, that's the way we'll start. And then next thing you know, but they're not stupid now. They're not fucking Trilla. They're not Trilla and just walk into this shit like an idiot. They understand that they're not going to give you a guaranteed multi-fight deal, and they don't get no choice over the opponents. But whatever, we're going to set a budget. They're going to put $50 million towards it a year. No, it had to be more than that. It had to be like $100 million a year, because that's a lot of, Canelo's getting his and Triple G's getting his, and then the next thing you know, they got to come to a fucking courtroom in California because goddamn Canelo is suing Golden Boy and joining them into the lawsuit, and they got to come and deal with this bullshit after they announced that you're going to get all Canelo's fights for free. You see what I'm saying? It's just like sooner or later they're going to get tired of this shit, just like Showtime and HBO did. They can't set a budget. They can't set a schedule. The promoters all coked out wearing lingerie. The fucking, fuck this. Get tired of it.
Yeah, it's the problem with boxing. It's not fucking. There's no whatchamacallit central authority. It's all over the place.
If there was a league office, it would be that's a little bit too far to stretch right now, but this is working itself out. It is. It's PBC is going along the exact course that you can see it going back from the beginning. This is they shot their wad. They got no more hedge fund bullshit, no more nonsense with that. They're gonna have to come to the fucking table now, or fight on pay-per-view. And then as far as Top Rank and the zone goes, I got no problem with it. As long as they're fighting. It's not always going to work out, but as long as they're and the sanctioning bodies gotta get the fuck out of here. No one needs these guys anymore. I mean, those belts were made so that when you didn't even know what these guys look like, and you came to a fight in person or listened to it on the radio, who the fuck's the champion? The guy with the fucking trinket. It's just a fucking crown. It's just a marker.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the point in even having these sanctioning bodies when the mandatories don't even fucking happen?
Dude, it makes no sense.
The sport was like an exhibition set up, and there was no fucking. It was just somebody to keep the rules. Like, what are we going to do here? A sanctioning body had to set the. It's what these. It was just back when this was an exhibition show. There was no structure to it, and there's still, unfortunately, it's stuck in that same kind of that same kind of exhibition where anybody can pitch a tent and have a circus. I mean, I could fucking pitch, I could have a concert over here or a circus over here, and we could travel the country, and we'll come to your town and fight the toughest guy in your town, like Ray Robinson or whatever. But it's different
Old
now.
campaigns back in the day, like a bum a week or like the bum of the month or shit like that.
Yeah,
They pull a guy from the crowd or something.
Globetrotters.
Shit like
At the end of the day, I don't mind if a fighter just stays active. Like, in fact, I
right?
kind of like it. Like, when it comes to Lomachenko, this is probably the final chapter of his career. Like, this is the final stretch, at least.
I don't know about that, man. He's 33, right?
Yeah, but he's going on 34. So I think it's fair to say, like, this is definitely like the last kind of run he'll have.
In
like,
his maybe his like absolute prime. Yeah.
So for him, I don't want him waiting around. I want him to fight these guys, fight as many guys as possible, so I can look back one day and watch these fights.
He has
I
a lot of
don't
wear
want
and
him just to
tear.
sit on the sideline.
He has a long amateur career too, man. Real long one. So
But see, what L Dog just said is that's what I was saying earlier. All I can ask of these guys right now is just stay active, because these long layoffs, man, I don't understand it. It's like you're going to make the same. Heyman's paying you twice as much to do half the fights. That's the pitch. That's the sales pitch. It's like, don't worry about it. I'm going to pay you. You're going to make more money and fight less. You're going to work less, and I'm going to pay you more. So I can't blame, if any of us got that offer, we might be tempted to take it.
Yeah,
and he actually did it with that hedge fund money. It's like he actually, I'm going to double your pay, and you can only work half the hours. I mean, I can't blame these guys for taking it now. And here's the thing, though: when it's over, it's over. You know what I mean? Like, it's over with now. So Heyman talking about signing Canelo. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't sign anybody. You just ask for what you want.
Fox just ditched him or about.
Yeah, Heyman just has a platform to put on fights, right?
The manager. You're going to get offer. You're going to reject it or accept it. And you've been rejecting it thus far. It's like a strike. You tried this. You did what you did. Right? You overpaid these guys and got a commission on doing it. Let's forget that. God bless you. At this point in time, do you want to fight? Do you want to put Caleb Plant in here? Yes or no for this much money? You're not making any offers to Canelo. You fucking take it or leave it. I mean, if you reject it, reject it. But he has no other options but pay-per-view. And you got to be a hell of a fighter to fight pay-per-view and make it work.
Not Fox
I'm just
pay-per-view. That Canelo fight, that shit's 187. That shit's done. That's on Showtime exclusive now. So they're fitting the bill for it.
Is that a 2-fight deal? How's that work?
No, 1-fight deal.
No, you can't.
I mean, I'm sure there's a actually, you know
Well,
what?
I'm saying, what was
I would
holding the
assume there
fight?
was be a rematch. Jesus Christ, a rematch.
Yeah, that'd be retarded to be a 2-fight.
Yeah, I know. Jeez. But I would assume there's a rematch clause, but at the same.
Is that Bucho? Who was just trying to talk?
Yeah, I'm not.
Steven, for you, boss.
Yeah, it just started sounding crazy, so I stopped talking. But yeah. Anyway, so now it's all on Showtime, and basically, there's no fucking way Showtime.
No, I meant is Canelo fighting twice on Showtime? Not is there like a rematch clause?
Well, I don't know actually.
There ain't no fucking rematch. I mean, there might be.
No, man, there ain't no rematch clause, and he just fighting once. Oh, rematch clause if Canelo loses. That's the only rematch clause. If Caleb Plant loses, he doesn't have rematch clause.
I just meant is he fighting? Did he get a 2-fight deal with the PBC or whatever or whoever it is?
He's not fighting with the PBC.
Nah. Canelo doesn't have a 2-fight deal. He doesn't.
He's fighting. He's fighting under his own promotion, and he's gonna. PBC. I mean, Heyman's there as the manager for Plant, and that's it.
The network.
And you
is
know
Showtime.
what? Canelo shot his mouth off and said he wanted to go for that belt too. So you play right into the guy's hands. No wonder he's gonna be a pig about it. Can you imagine your manager negotiating for 2 other fighters, and that's what's holding your fight up? If you're Caleb Plant, can you imagine the hold up here is that not the money, not the rehydration, none of that shit. It's that Heyman's trying to say, I'll give you the Plant fight since we have the last belt and you shot your mouth off and said you wanted it so bad. So you just basically completely took all your leverage away. So now you got to come to me. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you Plant and the rehydration and everything. But after that, you got to also fight Benavidez and who's the other one over there?
Charlo. No, not
Yeah,
Charlo.
whoever. It was 2 other fights. He wanted to put make him agree to not just the Plant fight, but you got to take these other 2 fights afterwards. You can't even do that as a manager. What the fuck are you doing? If you're Caleb Plant, you got to be going, man. I can't believe this is holding everything up.
Because Plant has a belt, I'm surprised that Heyman didn't try to do a 2-way, meaning like you lose, you rematch him, you lose, you
No, he was just going to be a greedy bastard about it, about what he wanted Plant to get paid. But on top of that, he's negotiating for 2 other fucking people. Like, this is my fight. Just negotiate for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're an agent for a goddamn for Tom Brady, you can't say, look, we'll sign Brady, we'll agree to these terms, but you also take jackoffs too. They'd run you off the table. It's ridiculous, man.
It is ridiculous. I was about to say the same thing. It's getting ridiculous.
That's not the way that works. It's
getting fucking stupid.
But it's coming to an end. You know what I'm saying? There's. I think Jimmy was saying. I heard last night that Fox is not going to re-up because they're tired of dealing with the bullshit too.
Yeah, Fox is cutting their losses. They're like, look, this shit's not making money, and the juice isn't the squeeze. They're like, fuck it. Same thing. HBO. They're like, look, we got bigger fish to fry. We're done dealing with this headache because you guys just bullshit all the time, and we have.
They're smart.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like this like professional organization, and you start dealing with like street thugs and shit. It's like being like a really professional drug dealer, and then you get like these crackheads, and they're like trying to work for you, and you're like, you know what? Like yeah, you make me money, but most of the time you're just annoying and you're fucking my shit up. Just fuck off, get out of here.
Yeah, it's not even forget the crackheads thing, man. If a crackhead could stay on schedule and set a budget, and I can just pay you to show up. All I want to do is
stand on the corner, right? Stand on the corner.
I just want to set these cameras up on these dates, goddammit, and I want to pay you this much money per date. And but I got to discuss this with like CBS, Viacom, because we got fucking Game of Thrones and all this other bullshit going on. It's like way more money than all this shit. Can I just get you to goddamn make fucking 8 fucking dates in a row and show up and have these guys actually show up and no bullshit or what? No? Well, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, they'll hang in there for a little bit, but sooner or later it's like, fuck this.
You're like, if you're like, you guys, some of you own businesses, like the most important thing is to have your products with the highest profit margins and, stick with them. Don't have a million different fucking things you're selling that you don't know if they're going to make you profit. So yeah, yeah, exactly. You want like your best 5 things and you want to stick with them that are going to make you those profit margins. that picture of Luis Ortiz is fucking hilarious.
My mother was the head chef at Taj Mahal, and she got the fuck out of there, and she started her own little cafe.
Good for her, dude.
Yeah, started her own
Probably
business right in New Jersey, and when she did it, it was sustainable and it was acceptable and it made money. And 90% of restaurants fail within the first 2 years.
Brutal
and,
business.
And you know what? And you know why they do?
It's their product.
Because their food fucking
goes bad.
Sucks. That's why. If you show up to a place and you're like, "Yo, this is the bomb," what's gonna happen? You're gonna come back. It's that fucking simple. You know what I mean? So if you're a fighter and you're like Triple G and people are like, "Man, he was only successful with this, that, and the other. He's just the great white hope. No, he was successful, and people took to him, and they started buying his fights because he went in there and he knocked him the fuck out or he beat him up. You know what I mean? It's that simple. The shit is not rocket science. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, but Steven, I just want to say, most restaurants go out of business because they can't sustain their inventory. Like, if you have a fish, it only stays good for like a couple of days. Like,
Well, you have to do the research ahead of time. You have to get a supplier, and you have to know that the supplier isn't a bum, and you have to.
Yeah, I got a lot of family in the restaurant business, and that is a
hard business, man.
It's tough,
Very
man.
hard.
But I tell you something though. Here's the deal. She had security with her job. I mean, that's a high ranking job right there. But you know what I'm saying? She could have probably done that until she retired. But she thought she could do maybe not financially better out the bat, but she thought she could do better for herself on her own. That's risk. But put more hours in her own restaurant than she did at fucking Taj Mahal.
She didn't do she didn't do dinner. It was a cafe, and it was a breakfast and brunch and lunch, and she was out of there by about 6, but she was in there at fucking 4 a.m. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, she was there at 4, and it was on her fucking mind whether she was there or not.
you know
So
what I mean?
the point is, it had to be consistent. That's how people are going to come back. The food can be great or mediocre, but honestly, if it's mediocre and it's consistent, then honestly, you're probably more successful than if you knock people's fucking socks off the table and it's all over the place, though.
It's the most frustrating thing.
That's why you wind up with Applebee's. Yeah. It's just like shit, but it's like, it's a 5 out of 10, but it's every time it's a 5 or 6 out of 10. You got Chipotle. You know what I'm saying?
There's nothing worse than someone that doesn't care about when you go. It's one thing to go to like a chain, but it's another thing to go to like a private. It's a pet peeve of mine, maybe because of my upbringing. But you fucking go to one, and they, man, it's like you don't even care about what you're doing. You can tell on the plate. You're like, you don't even care. It's like, this is terrible. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
It's a fucking. They're just using it for a front to launder money.
Maybe. It was New Jersey. It was New Jersey, bro.
It's when you go to a Chinese restaurant, you open the fortune cookie, and it says you're going to shed blood for 3 days.
Oh man, dude, I just had Chinese yesterday. Don't say that.
Yeah. I make my own Chinese because the Chinese joint here in North Carolina is fucking trash.
Wait, you make your own Chinese? That just fucking sounds weird, man. Like,
yeah, I make a lot of my own food. I make some old school bloomin' onion cheesesteak wrap I made the other day.
No, I got you. It's just like the way it sounded.
I make the shit, bro. I make
like usually
onion sauce with it.
No, I got you. Just like when you think of Chinese, you think of like you're going to like the fucking Chinese restaurant itself, or you're ordering. You don't think like, oh, I'm gonna fucking make some Chinese rice.
You want to make some dope General Chicken? You just fucking get some buttermilk, get some chicken, put that in there. You marinate in the buttermilk because it'll take up the batter later after it sits for a while. Put it in
the fucking rice.
Get a nice tempura batter going. Man, don't fuck with me. Fry that shit up, man. I make my own General sauce. I do the whole thing. I know how to make rice real good. I make rice better than a Chinaman.
Dude, that hibachi rice.
And there's no cats in the neighborhood either. It's 2 for 1.
No bullshit. I was in Fayetteville.
Cats are annoying.
Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I came out of this sushi place, and there was a Chinese place next to the sushi place, and I seen a dude in a white apron, like a chef's apron, and he was chasing a fucking cat outside of the back.
Want to hang out of his back pocket?
Yo, I swear to God, dude, I was like, I'll never eat Chinese food again.
And where at? In Greenville?
No, in Fayetteville, in North
North Carolina.
Yeah, man. I seen a fucking Chinese guy chasing a cat. I was like, man, I'm done. I was like, I'm never eating at a Chinese joint again. Because like I was like, oh, that's a stereotype. That's not true. And I always wondered too, because you eat at some places and you're like, the chicken is like kind of like chicken, you know?
I mean, listen, you're gonna eat McNuggets. You're gonna go to get you a box of McNuggets. You're eating fucking beaks and claws and skull. You're just eating like a mashed up byproduct anyway. So
food snob.
What the fuck? Do you live near Fayetteville? Like, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm still near it. I'm Rayford. I'm in like
yeah.
It's near Fort Bragg. It's a military area kind of, so it's near Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Wait a minute. Now you live in North Carolina?
Yeah, now I do. I used to be in Jersey and Philly. I had family in both areas.
I played
And then I
football.
moved down here, and I never went back because I don't want to go up north because it's so fucking cheap down here. But, yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's
And I
fucking
like the
awesome.
country, man. I like the country. I like guns. I like hunting. I like fishing. I like being left
Hey.
alone. I got 2 old black guys as my neighbors, man. They're cool as
You know
fuck.
where Greenville, South Carolina is at? I played
Yeah,
at
sure.
Furman
Yeah,
University.
yeah, Greenville. Yeah.
I played football there.
Pete,
That's
what the hell
cool.
are you doing, man?
Cool. That's cool.
I got to get back to work here. Did you see me pouring diesel fuel into that Bobcat earlier?
No.
When I was on the phone?
Boat? You on a boat or near? That looks like a boat.
I'm working on a boat. Yeah.
Oh, you're working on a boat. Okay, I got you.
But I had to go to a construction site earlier, and I had my earbuds in, and I spilled diesel fuel all over myself.
Oh, you're gonna stink forever.
Yeah, I do.
What engine you got? Is that a Yamaha? What is that?
Mercs.
That's a Merc. Okay, Mercury. Yeah.
These are bad boys.
How big? How big is it?
300.
Ooh, okay. Just a single? I couldn't tell if you had 2 or 1.
No, it's a
Just
31
single?
contender.
Yeah, Mercury. Yeah. Nice.
Twins.
Oh, you got 2?
Cocaine.
Nice.
No, it's funny. Yo, guys, listen to this. I had this fucking truck driver who was supposed to move, like, it was a fucking shitload of product of raw boat materials, like fiberglass and shit, from Fayetteville, North Carolina to Prosperity, South Carolina. And the dude just fucking disappeared. Like, dude, he's getting paid well. And all this fucking raw materials for this place just fucking went missing. Now we got a whole fucking problem.
He probably sold it for a fortune, bro. That
He
shit.
probably stole the shit out of that. Now
Was it resin? It was resin and chop strand mat.
It was resin and something. Oh fuck, man! I forget what else.
MEK, acetone.
It was resin, but I don't know what the rest was.
It was the catalyst for it. A gel coat.
Like, what's he gonna do with that? Like, double sell? Like, how? What the?
He's the transporter.
He was the guy that was. So we just hit people up, and they'll move our product or like a product we for our customer. And this guy just stopped. He took his tracking off. We give these drivers tracking, and haven't heard from him in like 3 days.
Well, I'm saying, I mean, hopefully nothing bad happened. But if he really
definitely
just honestly took off or whatever, then probably because this shit was on back order for so long. We had boat orders at our factory. I mean, we're still for a while there after the shipping the supply chain thing. Half the fucking glass is from Asia, and half of the resin and all that's plastic. That was all in Texas after that blizzard they had. They shut down all the PVC factories out there.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Honestly, I mean, we have customers that they got that shit everywhere. Are you comfortable? Actually, I don't want to ask you this on the thing, but I was gonna say, do you think your shipping costs are too high?
Like for what?
For like when you're paying, because you say you work in that industry. When you're paying somebody to move like your raw materials for your boats or whatever, do you have to pay a lot for that?
Well, we order from Composites One, Comp One.
That's
a big supplier for the marine industry for all that stuff, for glass and resin.
Okay.
So they deliver. They deliver to, but that guy, if he stole that, he probably sold it for. I'll tell you right now, he sold it for 5x whatever it was worth on the market.
Interesting.
Well, let me try and bring this back to boxing real quick.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say this, because we haven't actually talked about this. At least not since I've been on. Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter and the Praying Mantis.
Well,
hey boys, I'm gonna let y'all handle this. I'm gonna jump in here and get to work for a minute, and I'm gonna catch up with y'all either later in the week or when I collect my day out for the draw.
Yeah, man, it's been good shooting the shit. Nice boat, by the way. Nice fucking boat.
What's up,
$5,000? I'll give you a truckload back. I bought that shit.
Okay, man.
But yeah, Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter, I've seen a lot of conflicting stuff. I've seen a lot of different opinions on this. Outcomes and it's all been really diluted. No, there's no like one way about what a majority of people think about this fight. Hell, and I understand why, because it's
Dude,
pretty crazy.
I have no idea how this fight. I don't think Crawford can do what Kell Brook did, where he could like pot shot him and tie him up. I just don't think like Kell Brook was extremely physically strong when he did that. So like, I think this is gonna be a really interesting fight, and Porter's gotten a lot better, a lot more skilled since then. So he is gonna fucking. I have no. So he's gonna be aggressive. He can't try to box with Crawford. So he's just got to be all over Crawford.
So you're saying pretty much Sean Porter is going to be Sean Porter. He's just going to do what he does, right? He's
exactly.
he's going to come forward, put it on you, throw hooks, and kind of forget. The thing about Sean Porter that bothers me is he has a jab when he wants to use it, and it's not that often. But he doesn't have a right to the body. He doesn't really have so much of a left to the body.
Yeah.
God damn, that right to the body, that right straight upstairs just does not exist.
Yeah, man, he just lacks that power. But see, both these guys swing wide shots, and like, yeah, Crawford swings wide, but he's a lot more accurate and snappy with his punches. But Porter just swings like a fucking caveman, dude. Like,
power's not the greatest either, which is kind of disconcerting.
Yeah, so like honestly, either guy could win. I don't see Porter stopping him. Like that just no way. But
no, well, Porter's not going to stop. I don't think so. But at the same time, I have to think about a little tiny Gamboa, made him do the crip walk.
Smacked him around, yeah.
So, he can hurt him. I mean, Porter can hurt him. Does Porter hit harder than Gamboa? I don't know, actually. Even though Gamboa was smaller, I wouldn't say either way.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I guess I'd lean on the side of Porter hitting harder than Gamboa.
I mean, Porter, yeah, he just doesn't like fucking snap his punches right. Like he's just clubs you to death, and like if he can be all over Crawford and just like smother him and like just kind of do what he did to like Thurman, because I don't even think Crawford hits as hard as Thurman, but I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting fight.
Yeah, Thurman does have some pretty good pop. He does.
Oh yeah, dude. He can hit.
Yeah, man. He's kind of a little bit underrated. He was the one time, then he became sometime. but there was a time when he was in his prime and he wasn't like climbing mountains and banging Asians. He
turned into like the fucking mountain man.
He hit pretty hard. But I mean, I said this before. I was on H Money and I was on another channel, and I'll say this: if Crawford is as good as people say, as good as we have said in the past, anyways, maybe not recently, but if he is pound for pound and he is as good as people say, and he should take care of Porter as well as, at least as well as Spence did, to be you know what I mean? Like
to back up,
handle him. You know what I mean?
To back up that pound for pound status that everybody says he is, like he should be able to, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Spence didn't stop him. It was a close fight. It was a tight fight. But if Crawford goes in there and he stops him, or he dominates, or he drops him more than one time, I mean, if he looks better than he did, if he looks better versus him than Porter did look versus Spence, then I mean, you have to start asking questions. You know, you have to fucking, because that was pre-accident too. That was pre-accident Spence. So I don't want to
Yeah,
hear
no,
that
yeah,
bullshit.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
So I don't want to hear
yeah.
that bullshit. So if Crawford does better and Crawford handles him, I don't want to hear that bullshit. Well, this, that, and the other, the accident. No, the accident had nothing to do with it because it was before the accident when he
But
fought.
if Crawford doesn't handle him, and it's like, I don't know, because I almost thought Porter beat Spence. I mean, he was all over him. I mean, I mean, that knockdown everybody said was the difference. I had fucking Porter, and so did like Thurman and Garcia. Everybody had Porter stacked. Porter was like 4-0 through the first rounds, and like I guess like Spence just started landing some cleaner shots. So they thought most people thought Spence was coming on, and he got that knockdown. But I still had Porter winning that fight, but definitely close.
Jonathan Lamborina in the chat, I agree with what he said. He said Spence doesn't have power; he just has volume with heavy hands, and I agree with that. He doesn't have that hard pop, but he just breaks you down. He hits hard enough to cause damage, and an accumulative. It's like an accumulative fighter. Yeah, Spence is like that. Spence had a good. I don't know about now, but he had a good gas tank. I don't know what the fuck his problem was, and that was
Well,
before the
if
accident.
he comes back healthy, he actually was like a fucking machine at one point, but you can't be drinking alcohol and be a fucking athlete. Like, those two just, not saying like he's a drunk, but like from what I'm hearing, like it just won't work. Like, try to like have beers with your buddies throughout the week and try to stay. I know what you said about like when you're in the military, you keep like a pint on you, but like that doesn't work with me, dude. If I'm gonna like be like having fun and partying, like I have to be like focused on that, and I'll just get fat as shit. But if I'm gonna be an athlete, or if I'm gonna want to care about like how I look, I cannot drink alcohol. That shit'll just fucking just put so much fat cells in my liver.
People keep talking about Stu in the chat. Stu just got his high blood pressure wasn't conducive to the trolls and the people that were just like popping shit in the chat, and he couldn't stand the call-ins. I'm not saying it's like Stu just got fed up with that shit, and that's why he's not back here. He's like, you know what? I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, he might have retired.
Yeah, man. Like that. He's like, he retired. I think Stu retired. I don't think we'll ever see Stu again, to be honest.
I think we might see a rare Stu sighting one of these days. But I mean, Stu was always hilarious, man, dude. He had that witty, comedic, like, dude, guy could just throw one-liners so fast. Stu used to crack me up.
Yeah, man. Stu used to crack me up too.
So funny.
Yeah, man. Daniel M makes a good point. Because I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember Crawford having TKOs and KOs in a lot of his past fights. Like I'm trying to think. He has, hasn't he? He has stopped like almost every guy that I can think of in recent history.
Well, like the Amir Khan fight, that wasn't a legit. I mean, dude, he fucking hit him in like the legs, and like
Postall, right, was the last guy that he went the distance with, right? Was it Postall?
it probably definitely had to be because Jeff Horney stopped Benavidez 12th round knockout. I'm trying to think. Everybody's fought at 147. Kavaluskis, dropped. I mean, but these haven't been like easy knockouts. Like he's had to work for him, and they haven't been the best competition. Like Kell Brook, dude, I was hyped for that fight too, and like turned into such a shit show, man.
I don't have to be too hard on Crawford, but at the same time, at 147, I'm just like, like it's just not the greatest, and there's a lot of rumors and a lot of things flying around on why deals have broken down with big names at 147, which was him just being a Uden, and he I don't know how true that is because maybe it's bullshit, but you just can only look at what fighters have fought others and which ones haven't. I think Crawford is an amazing fighter. I think he has talent. I think he has everything to beat a lot of guys in 147, maybe all of them.
Yeah,
maybe. I'm just happy to finally see him fight a guy that he should have fought maybe, when he was first coming into 147. And I have to credit Porter, who seems to be the only guy over that side of the street that likes crossing over, to fight other guys.
You
Porter
know
seems
what?
to be the only one.
Guys,
Fucking Al Heyman fucked the
hold on.
game up, man.
Yeah, guys, I need to bounce because I'm fucking passing out. But you guys can stay
Good
in the chat.
talking,
You're gonna keep talking. I'm just gonna.
I have to pass. I'm fucking passed now too. But fucking always good talking to you, Steven. Good talking to you, Bucho.
Yeah,
Jackson,
man, same.
have a good one, man.
Take care, guys.
Peace
Thanks
out.
for joining. We'll see you soon. All right, and everybody on YouTube, thank you for joining us. We will be having more shows. Probably another one tomorrow. I'm telling you, we're going on a marathon this week since we have a big fight. And I was thinking maybe we should have that BDA Kumite this week. I mean, fuck it. Like, listen, we have 2 fights here, 2 debates. L-Dog versus Recognize the Matrix, Haitian Sensation versus Minimax. If we can get that done by maybe tomorrow or the day after, just get it over with. Maybe we'll add another match during that same day. We'll already have 2. And, yep, we're going to be adding more predictions to the list over here, the AJ Usyk predictions, so stay tuned for that. And obviously, we will be having, somebody asked if we're going to have a show on Saturday. Yes, we will have a show on Saturday after the fight. It's a post-fight show, so that's going to be fucking crazy. We're going to open the phone lines, and you guys will be able to call in and let us know what you thought about the fight. All right, having said that, guys, have a good night. Take care. We'll see you next time. Oh, fucking shit. That's not this music. What the fuck is it? God damn.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man. I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing.
Lomito.
Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.